And unmute. And Stephen Crow, I think we're live on the internet.
I've never seen the King of the Dead so confused.
I can see our shiny faces on the internet. I believe we're there. Steve, do you want to say a few words?
Yeah, I'd like to apologise in advance to everyone who was expecting to see Damien here tonight, but he couldn't make it. So, I roped in an old friend.
He apologises profusely.
Yeah, no crown today, mate.
You got that straight away. Yeah, well let's jump in. Let's deal with the crownless elephant in the room. I've seen once we can, once we figured out if we're in. I see Jill Monroe saying live and loud, so fingers crossed we're all right. But yeah, oh my goodness. So anyway, Damien couldn't be here tonight, so me, the King of the Dead, thought I'd step in. What theme is it tonight, Steve? Just so I know.
It's King of the Dead.
No way.
It's coincidental.
Unbelievable. This is crazy things. So yeah, I was getting my gear together, as in from my wardrobe, because I'm the King of the Dead, and I got my clothes out as normal. Definitely didn't have to fight the spiders in the attic for that or anything, and then didn't have to do face paint or anything because it was I'm green, and oh god, I just saw what happened there. Hang on, let me do that again. Sorry, don't know what happened there. I was wearing my skin coloured gloves for a minute there. Apologies. So yeah, I went up into my wardrobe and all that sort of stuff, and I came down. And my crown, which my children, I think I can have children as the King of the Dead, right? Have used periodically. The crown stays around the place, just hanging out, and people have been used. I was like, "Where's my crown?" And Emma went, "I think we threw that away." And I was like, "Sorry, what?" And then Charlotte went, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw that in the bin." I was like,
the thing is, no one's going to know that you're King of the Dead now.
Well, this is it. I was like, what? So what?
There's no telltale signs.
I'm of the dead. Like,
but you just a dead dude.
Yeah. So actually, this fancy dress is wrong. This should be for our Dead of Dunharrow week when the translucent one comes out. It's going to be ridiculous. I'm dressed as a warrior of Dunharrow tonight, not the King of the Dead. But I mean. And then was like, it was really badly broken. I was like, I don't see how that's the point. So yeah, and replace it.
Does she not know that you have masses of plastic glue?
I can fix that.
You could have just put it on a hill.
Yeah, I could have put it on a hill. But so of course, you know what's going to happen tomorrow morning. I'm going to find it, but they reckon it's gone. So devastated. 6 years after its debut, no crown. Can that be a lesson to you, BSIMEs? If you throw someone's shit away, tell them.
Stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. But there we go. That's our intro. People are discussing it, so I think it's fair to say we're live and we can people can hear us and stuff. So good evening and welcome to Battle Streams in Middle Earth. This is, of course, our regular series where we take a walk down memory lane and have a look at this bad boy, which is DXD's part of Battle Games in Middle Earth. So if you notice a hauntingly similar appearance. But because what we did when we were going to do a stream about this series, we didn't just want to call it Battle Games in Middle-earth, and we actually changed the word games to the word streams.
Streams.
But streams. So it's a bit of a think piece. So good luck.
Not everyone gets it.
A lot of people don't get it, Steve. A lot of people don't get it. A lot of people don't understand that Golb is an anagram of Bolg either. Yeah, so in every episode we hang out with each other for a few hours, and we look through an issue of this and kind of talk about what was in it, the profiles in it, and the models in it, and the terrain in it, and so on and so forth, and just kind of see what the state of the game was. And the point of it, of course, the point of Battle Streams in Middle-earth, let's see how this is going to go. It's my first sip. Is to help you clear your backlog. So the idea is that we hang out together and paint something, and we wanted people to paint just for the fun of painting, not because you need it for an army, not because you need it for an event, but just because it's fun to paint stuff and help clear some of that big grey mountain. And so every week we have a theme. And Steve, how do we decide that theme?
Well, it all depends on what come in a magazine. That's how we decide on the theme. So whatever came in the issue that we are focusing on the stream, that's how we decide. And this week is Old Greg.
This guy. I'm Old Greg. Do you like me? I like you.
There's a lot of non-UK viewers in tonight who are just going to think, what?
Do you love me? Do you think you could grow to love me? So yeah, it's King of the Dead week. So the theme is King of the Dead, but obviously some of you won't be playing the King of the Dead. But Steve, how can people get involved in the stream tonight?
So over on the Great British Hobbit League Facebook group, there is a thread which is cunningly titled "This is the Whip Thread," and post pictures of whatever you're working on. So using a mobile handheld device that has a camera installed on it, take pictures of whatever you're working on, and post it in that thread, and you'll be entered into a draw to win King of the Dead's crown.
Oh,
maybe not.
My bone fingers can't work the trackpad. I've been undone.
Damn it.
Now, you can't win these. These are the delicious purple patron dice for BSIME. But you know what you can win, Steve? You can win this, dear lady. It's a black BSIME dice that only rolls 5s and higher. So good. Indeed, this is one of our black Battle Streams of Middle-earth dice. Oh, yeah. Come on, where is he? Whoa, check that bad boy out. I was in focus for it there. I mean, it looks a lot like these ones that are in focus, but it's black. And the only way you can get one of these is by winning the prize draw. Oof, look at that! See, I told you, only 5s. And do you know what, Steve? I haven't even asked your permission for this. I haven't even asked you to authorise this. I've got a twist. I know it's just a Tuesday. I know it's not a celebrator issue, but I feel, I'm not in fancy dress, am I? I'm the King of the Dead. So Damien couldn't be here. I think we should celebrate a bit. You're not just going to win that black dice tonight.
Oh.
I'm also going to give away one of these tonight. Oh, for God's sake. That would have been so good if it had been a 6. Do you know what this is?
No, because it just looks like a one.
It's a King of the Dead dice.
Oh.
This is where I'm on my custom-made Throne of Skulls King of the Dead dice.
Very nice.
And it's pretty neat. It's pretty cool.
It's cool. Yeah, it's cool.
Modelled off the Funko Pop of the King of the Dead. There he is.
Very cool.
So, what do you think? Do we just give like both to our winner tonight? Or do we give both to the winner? Yeah. So tonight, just for fun.
Well, I'll tell you why. Because if someone wins and gets the black dice, and they've won, they've got to the final, they've smashed everyone, and they don't win the cool King of the Dead dice, they're going to be...
Yeah, you're right. So both to the winner then tonight. Well, how about that for a start to a stream?
That's cool, mate.
Bonus party dice. So, how can they increase their chance? Well, how can they not increase their chance? How can they give themselves any chance of winning these treats?
We've just been through it, haven't we?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I said post a picture of... Oh, right, yeah, they've got to be on theme, so you've got to be working on King of the Dead. So if you're working on King of the Dead, whether you've just started him, you're cutting him off the sprue, he's a model that you've had lying around, base coated and you've just put him down because for whatever reasons, or you've already painted him. He's not quite finished. Needs that little tuft on the base. Needs the rim painting. Aye. Get a picture of it, get it in there, and you'll be entered into the draw.
Absolutely. But yeah, whatever you're working on tonight, stick it up there, and we'll go through that later. And we'd love to see all the hobby you've been doing. It is just the King of the Dead tonight.
This week.
So you've got Metal King of the Dead, you've got Plastic King of the Dead, or if you're lucky enough to have got the Translucent King of the Dead, if you want to clip him off and stick him on a base, that's fine too. But not the Warriors of the Dead. And the reason for that, we talked about it when we were preparing for the stream, is that we want to have an Army of the Dead week where everyone can clip off their translucent Army of the Dead. And the made to order for that hasn't arrived yet. I actually went and checked because I haven't had mine, and my mum ordered them in December. I went and checked the kind of dates, and she ordered them on the 2nd of December, so I presume that's when they went on sale. And they were told 180 days, and it's working days. And do you know where that gives you? It's mid-August.
Is it?
Yeah, 180 working days is mid-August. So, let's not despair. They're very clear about it on made to order. It'll be 180 working days. So that could mean next week, or it could mean mid-August. But whenever that does happen and the Army of the Dead come out, we're going to have a special where we do where we allow all the Warriors of Dunharrow as well. But tonight it's just the King of the Dead. Very, very cool. Which is annoying because I've blown my Warrior of Dunharrow fancy dress for tonight. Like, I'll have to. I'll try and get a crown. I'll try and get a crown for the next one. I've got till mid-August, right?
Yeah.
So there we go. That's how you get involved. Welcome to Battle Streams in Middle Earth. It's lovely to have you all in. We have 48 people watching. Lovely to have you all on Tuesday night. Party.
Yeah, good to have you in on Tuesday night, half term, England match night, which I thought might, put a few people up.
It is, actually, yeah.
I've got it on one screen. I'm watching. England are playing quite well, but it's not quite working. Is there any Belgians in? Do let us know, because I have the ban button. But yeah, so I think what we should do, as is normal on these streams, should we go through snacks? Because I've got a snack that I'm just dying to tuck into, and it's going cold. Yes, you heard me right. I have a hot snack.
A hot snack. I mean, that sounds like hot news. So go on, Steve. You kick off.
Okay, I'll go first. So I've got my cup of tea, obviously. This is a huge leap from last time because I had nothing to do last time. I think I literally had nothing. I've got a glass of Coca-Cola, not Pepsi.
Obviously.
I have one beer because I do have an alarm call in the morning. Kids are not in school and I'm not in work, but I'm driving up to Cumbria. Can't say any more than that.
Can't say any more than that. That sounds exciting.
It is exciting.
Is it a golf tournament?
No. I've got a Canoppers.
Canoppers, nice.
It's been a while. And Big Laz is going to love this.
Oh, Galaxy Ripple. Is it a Ripple?
Galaxy Ripple. You see McDonald's bringing out Galaxy Ripple McFlurries?
I hadn't.
Next month, yeah. And the hot snack.
Steve, before I turn the stream off, I just want to see. I'm looking at Streamlabs. I just want to see you a bit bigger. I'm in studio mode for transition mode. What's the main mode? Is it editor? What's the one big screen? You just double click. Oh, it's off. Done it. Smashed it. And by it's off, I mean the mode. I don't mean I've turned the stream off.
So my hot snack. Before you rudely interrupted.
Sorry. I wanted to be able to see your hot snack.
Barbecue, mate. It's pork belly.
Is that home? God, do you know a chef or something? Like what?
I've been experimenting with
boys.
Man.
Is your cooking good?
This is going to be a new thing.
Or barbecue?
This is going to be a new thing. I'm going to have barbecue with every stream.
That's good. It's good, lad.
That's so good.
New segment, barbecue segment.
That's my snacks. What about you?
Well, Steve, my snacks are also quite special tonight. I've got a few. I've got a beer, but you'll notice the beer is as yet uncapped. I've got my delicious mug of tea. I've got one more drink, and whilst we haven't read the chat, I'm keeping an eye on the chat. If anyone wants to have a guess I've got a drink that I think I've never had on the stream before, Steve. And I've chosen it for tonight.
Okay.
Now, you might... I feel like you might know it, based on what we've already discussed.
I might know it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know how much... You've already said something that should get you there. And it's particularly thematic for tonight.
Is it a chalice of human blood?
It's not a chalice of human blood. I'm going to have to give it to Joe Holzman, who even with a 20-second delay has smashed it. I've only got some Baileys. Oh. Delicious. Now, tragically, I didn't have a shoe to drink it out of. But I do. I thought I just felt tonight was a night for Baileys, you know?
Yeah, because you're dressed like the ghost from Christmas Past.
You like me? I like you.
Oh,
I go to a club where people wee on each other.
that was delicious.
So yeah, I've got some Baileys. And then as for my snacks, I've got a... have I got a story for you, Stephen? I mean, you know much of this. I got a bag of snacks. Now, these are... I really don't know how much to say here. Or quite what. But this is a bag of snacks that my wife got me this week. And my wife got me a care package. And, you know,
Right.
You know... I don't know what to say about it. My wife got me a care package because, Stephen, as you know, I went to hospital.
Oh, yeah.
I went to hospital 10 days ago.
Have they got Maltesers in it?
There's not Maltesers, but she's been quite creative. Everything's fine. It was an elective operation that I went through, and my wife, by way of a little thank you, I think, got me a selection of things. So I've got some cheesy balls, which seem to have this written on the front. What else is in here? This is a good one. I've got some ginger nuts, but they're not here. Haven't cracked into those yet. Some of these I'm a bit worried about, kind of whether or not I can say it. I got some hobnobs, which, as you can see, I've started already, and they seem to say, "Hope your hobnob's okay" for some reason. And there's some there's a bag of jelly babies, which have other amendments on them and stuff. So I've actually, and potentially my favourite, there's some Reese's Pieces eggs, and it just refers to what can no longer happen to some eggs, basically. So my wife is a darling lady and has got me tons and tons of sweets. So I'm quite excited, and I don't really know what to go into. But was there anything in there that you think you'd like to see me try?
I think the Reese's Pieces has got to be top two tonight, right?
Do you know what? That's what I would have picked. So I'm going to go into these. I think these are Easter themed. And they're single. They're wrapped.
Easter this one,
wrapped individually, so quite nice. So yeah, I've had a fun couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But, you know, I got a big bag of treats out of it, so
it was worth it.
Here we go. So yeah, I've got a great bag of treats. As soon as she got me, I was like, well, that's stream snack sorted for ages. That is nice. That's a kind of
very good. What's it? Is it like all? Is it all just little bits?
Kind of like a cream. Kind of like a cream, like peanut cream, I think. Yeah.
Nice.
It's good.
Very good.
So yeah, I've got loads of stuff to be getting through this week. There we are.
Well, we're doing all right, aren't we? Snacks this week.
Here's to you, my friend.
Cheers,
and do you know what else? Do you know what? Because I'm going to kick off today. Because beyond anything else, my news is something to celebrate, I think, in all honesty. But Remember what happened on when we passed 1,500 subscribers?
Yeah.
A bit shameful, party popper eyes, right?
Yeah. New ones.
New ones from a reputable party supplier.
Yeah. What are we on now?
Can't open them. What?
What are we on?
Oh, probably about 1,507.
Let's gone back down because everyone unsubscribed on that. Let's have a look.
I picked these up today fresh.
Oh no, that's not it.
So, you know, I'm in the mood for celebrating, and I don't have a crown, so I'm going to try and get a crown of party popper. This is a cat F1 party popper, so I think there's a very fast cat inside this. Keep away from eyes and ears. Do not dismantle. See package for instructions. So, are we ready?
Yeah.
No one was expecting a party popper tonight, but to heck with the rules, right?
Do it, man.
A crown fit for a king.
No. Mate, what are you doing?
That's impossible.
What are you doing?
That is impossible. No.
Mate,
No.
I would listen to the universe at this point.
What?
I would listen to the universe.
Have I just got really strong, do you reckon?
Well, there's no energy producing other things at the moment.
It's actually, you know, look, it's not far off, right? For anyone who isn't following this, a couple of streams ago, I pulled 2 party poppers, and this happened twice. This has never ever happened
in my life. Clear, this is a brand new packet.
This is a different packet. I've just opened this packet, completely different from a completely different shop. What the hell, man?
That's a sign, mate. No.
What's happening?
Mate, don't do it. I think this is some Final Destination stuff here, mate. Don't do it.
What is happening?
Don't do it.
This pack was meant to last for ages. What do you think? What am I? You can't do this. That's 4 in a row.
Give it up, mate. Give it up.
Steve, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what's happening. What do I do? Do I just work my way through them and then take them all back to the shop?
I'd stop right there. There's an almighty power.
Yeah, that one's gone. Fuck, that's 4 in a row that's just happened to.
Take them back tomorrow and say in the shop, I want you to open a packet.
Can you show me how this works?
Show me how to pull a party popper.
I actually know.
Go dressed like that.
All I wanted was a crown. Do you know what? Do you know what's amazing? The shop I bought them from is the shop where I bought the crown 6 years ago. It's the party shop where we always get our balloons for people's birthdays and stuff. So like I get on with them really well and everything, but someone just said squeeze the tip. I'll try and. No.
I don't think they were talking about.
This is insanity. This is crazy. I'm really worried that I've just got basically a bomb at my feet now.
Yeah, that could. If there's any naked flame around there, you're in trouble, man.
Richard Clammer has suggested yanking it hard and fast, which is something that happened to me 10 days ago.
I don't think he's talking about the party popper, mate.
All right, here we go. I can't pull it on. I can't do it with my bony hands. What the hell is happening? This is mental. This is worse than when you reward free 20s on a D20. So there we go. No party poppers, guys. I tried, but I've broken party poppers. I can't do them anymore.
I think that's the universe telling us that we're not to do another party popper until 2,000 subscribers.
Okay, cool. See you in 10 years.
Right, I'm breaking into my canoppers.
Right. What are you working on? King of the Dead?
No. I've already painted him. Where is he? do. I'm trying. You can't pull apart if I can't get into a canopus. It's all going pear shape, mate. Hang on. No, he's not there. I thought he was up there.
You got anything? Have you had a clear out behind you?
No.
Looks emptier behind you.
No.
Maybe the angle's just different.
Got to clean up.
Are you going to be doing any painting tonight?
No.
Brilliant.
I'll be doing all the comments more.
You can do all the reading then. Brilliant, love it. I will be doing some painting now. Also, not the King of the Dead. Painted the metal King of the Dead. Painted the plastic King of the Dead. Enjoy King of the Dead. Enjoy Arm of the Dead a lot. Had some great times with them in the past. This guy. And I haven't had my translucent one arrive yet. So no, I don't have a single Arm of the Dead model to paint. So you know what that means, Steve?
Gondor.
BSIME Gondor. And today I am painting 3 Citadel Guard. These are my first ever Citadel Guard. Yeah. I don't have any Citadel Guard for my BSIME Gondor army. If you're new here, the rule is anytime I don't have the right model to paint on the stream, I'm painting something for Gondor army that's only been painted via models on the stream. And these were sent to me by very kindly by Lewis for my Secret Santa last year. So Secret Santa 2022. And I think he sent me some knights, possibly Hurin as well in that package, and some Citadel Guard. It was a really cool package. And the Citadel Guard have waited the time and they're going under the brush. So I'm following, as always, I'm following your guide. I've done the dry brushing on the armour, and I'm hoping to get the base coat slapped down and some washes on them tonight. Not for any reason. I don't need them for anything. I'm painting them purely, my friend, for the love of the hobby.
Yeah, boy.
So that's what I'm working on. And if you're going to say hi to everyone and see who's in, I'm going to get painted.
Yep. I'm going to get to the top of chat. Why is it so small today? Hello there, says Frederick. Where's the whip thread? The whip thread went up bang on time. Do blaze him. James Firth Hayden says, evening chaperones. Anyone else given up on the England game already this evening? I've got it on one screen. I'm not really watching it though. I don't think England are playing terribly. They just let that first goal was a shocker. Oh, hang on. Oh, no. Basketball UK's in. Says evening, everyone. Teenage Dirtbag's in. Joe Holzman's in. Flammer's in. Griggs is in. Scott Newman's in.
Griggs.
Dan Nelly's in.
Griggs.
Mark Fry's in. Michael Curtis, Gary George, both in. The living legend that is Joe Monroe's in. Jakey says evening all. Paul Jacobson is in, says good evening. King of the Dead Times, says Rory Campbell. Joe Kelly's in, says hi all, good afternoon from the States. Very excited for tonight's record-breaking 6-hour stream. Woohoo. Not a chance. Really sad news coming out of America this morning. I hope anyone affected is okay. Aaron's in. Matt Hudson's in. Just got here in time, he says. Rufflecopter, it's Kong of the Dead, says Frederick.
Kong of the Dead?
Kong of the Dead.
Why am I Kong of the Dead? Wasn't there a discussion about Kongs a while back?
Kongs?
Yeah, didn't we have... I think he's referencing an old stream. There was a discussion where the word Kong was suddenly very funny. Quite recently. Do you remember?
I don't remember that.
I can't remember the context of it. Context, yeah.
Context. Hashtag new, it says Sean Clark. What happened to Piano House, says Josh Crosby. Frederick Schultz, Sound and Audio Works. Rogue Gaming retracted a message.
I like how Josh has asked you a question and you just ignored it.
Which one?
The one you just read.
Oh, what happens to Piano House? Because Damien's hosting, and he doesn't have said file because I uploaded said file to our streaming software, then deleted the file like an idiot. Can't find it.
I don't think you have said file.
So it's kind of in the cloud, and if we ever change it, it's lost forever. Where are we? Frederick says, I was expecting this, kind of.
Expecting what?
Good evening.
Expecting Damien to not be able to make it to the stream. Who could possibly have expected that?
Wow. I thought we'd been visited by a mermaid, says Jill Monroe. This spectral chap has a similar voice to Damien's, but the stream still works as a background podcast, says Josh Crosby.
Oh, that's a bit like...
Joe Holzman said, "Oh, Greg's lost his crown." Will this be the night Emma sneaks up on Damien and gets the reverse of fright, says Sam Huddy.
Emma has been a major part in tonight's endeavours. Charlotte did some of the face paint tonight as well, which might explain.
It's very cool. It's very cool, man.
Well, you might find that the King of the Dead is glitterier than he used to be.
I like it.
You know what was great? As she started, right, and they just did the blue and the green, you know what the first thing she said was, "You pretty much just look like the Arkenstone at this point." I was like, "You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I do look exactly like the Arkenstone."
Josh Crosby says, "I don't seem to have a King of the Dead model. This has never happened yet. Can I convert one for an entry?" I think if it...
Not normal.
I mean, you've got a short space of time to convert a model.
Well, he's a very talented sculptor, isn't he?
But go for it. I'm down.
I mean, don't normally allow that, Steve.
I know, but it's King of the Dead, isn't it?
That's a great point. That's very compelling. That wouldn't work for any other week either, would it?
Lemur Crazy says, "Here to fulfill your oath?" Question mark. Another normal stream I see. Good evening all, says Calamar. Duke of the Dead, says Sam Huddy. Now he's just of the dead, says Joe Holzman. Sean Clark says he's not a King of the Dead. He's an emo at a Halloween party in the mid-2000s.
Wow.
Wowzers.
Well, I appreciate
Dublé says,
stop mocking me.
Dublé says, "Are you just a herald of the dead?"
I think we're going to have to be. I knew the lost
King of the Woke, says Lemur. Rory Campbell, "It was broken. It can be remade." This is true.
Exactly.
Don Harrow has no king. Don Harrow needs no king. This is the steward of the dead, says Frederick. Mason Kingsbury says, "First live streamer, long-time replay watcher. Haha, Damien dressed as King of the Dead is not how I expected to start my morning." Well, we're here to...
First live streamer, what the fuck is this?
What is this?
Lovely to have... Is that a Mason?
Mason Kingsbury, yeah.
Lovely to have you, Mason. Welcome to the
Joe Kelly says, "If Damien isn't going to dress up properly on theme, no crown, I think everyone should be allowed in the prize draw this week. Hashtag just saying." I mean, that would be...
I feel like I'm quite on theme, you know? I think I've got most of the outfit.
JM says, "Thought I was watching the new Beetlejuice trailer for a minute. It does look good, the new Beetlejuice. I was a big fan of the original Beetlejuice, so I look forward to seeing it." Alex Johnson's in. How you doing, buddy? Good to have you. Ruth's in. She waves. How you doing, Ruth? Evening, a water treat, says Stephen Ryan. And Lemur Crazy says, "How are you going to paint?"
Well, I'm doing it. Standard painting techniques.
Josh Cole says, "Evening, guys. Damn, Steve beat me too. I was just about to say, loving the old Greg costume from Damien."
Come on, Greg!
Histonian greeting, says Destro. Don't forget to like. How you doing, buddy? Joe Kelly says, "I'm sorry, but who is old Greg?" Everyone keeps talking. He also says he's co-hosting with Steve tonight with Steve. Well played, Joe, says Joe Kelly.
What do you think then?
About what?
You need to tell Joe who old Greg is.
I think that's a conversation that is going to be difficult to explain. What I would say is, go on YouTube and just search it.
Oh, Greg.
You'll either really enjoy it or think there's something wrong with us.
Do you like him? Do you like him? I think I could grow to like you. This one's Bailey's. This one's bigger.
Sam Page is in. He says, "Evening all, no painting for Nick and I tonight, but looking forward to following the stream. Yes, we still have Steve's chocolate. I'll get it off you in a few weeks, Sam." Josh Crosby says, "Stop calling the King of the Dead Damien. It's breaking the immersion."
Yeah, Steve.
I don't think it was me, did I? How do I mute that? Joe Osmond says, "I've added a skull to the base of my plastic King of the Dead in a shameless attempt to become 5 dice Holzman."
That's exactly the sort of thing that 4 dice Holzman would do.
What we like. That's what we like.
That's how he's got 4 dice, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the thing. You got to be willing to go out
there. Hoodie says, "Can't believe they had the audacity to put an England game on a stream now. I know it's rude, mate. It's rude." Joe says to Josh, "The lack of a crown is breaking the immersion for me." Frederick says, oh, cool, Canoppers. And Carl Daly's in, he says, even though I'm not on theme, but working on some new Iron Guard and Vault Warden team for the During Spoke Battle Company. Very cool. Joe Kelly says, pork belly, please tell me that you smoked it. Okay, I will tell you, I smoked it, mate. I smoked it. Brown sugar, salt, pepper, and paprika.
I thought that was the name of a commenter. Brown pepper, paprika says. Brown sugar.
the nuts from the Canoppers. You know when you get nuts do that horrible thing to you where you just keep making you cough. Was that a British bought Canoppers? Should I even be asking about the Ardicorn chocolate anymore? It was a British bought Canoppers. We might need a new arrangement for this year. Yeah, I'll come and see you this year if I can.
I think Sam and Nick might be serving your chocolate at an upcoming event.
We'll see Sam and Nick very soon, won't we? Joe Kelly says, yes, barbecue streams Middle-earth. And Gary George says to Osman, what an excellent idea. I should steal your idea and skillfully scullify my painted King of the Dead. Monster Energy, lol no, says Frederick. Bailey's from a shoe, says Joe Holt. No, this is about your drink. Peter Taylor, hi guys, can't stay, just wanted to stop as I've not been able to make the streams for a while. No problem, dude. Obviously, life is getting in the way. We've all been there. Hope you well. Bailey says Max. Dead Man's Fingers, says Sam Huddy. Do Dun Harrow eat rotten food? Asked Lemur crazy.
That's just Larry.
Mate, the chat's bouncing around.
You've drifted off to the side.
I have.
Yeah, there you go. That's where you need to be.
Jakey asked, Bailey's from a shoe. Mason Kingsbury, blood. Blood from a what? CT's face.
Blood from a CT's face? What is that?
I don't know what that means, Mason, but it sounds
terrible.
Rough. Joe Osman, I'm sure you could find a shoe if you really tried. No shoes, no crown. Honestly, where's the effort? Asked Sam. Steve, are we getting treated to the barbecue at Scouring? Sounds like a perfect Saturday night treat. Unfortunately, not, my friend. Who knows in the future? But yeah, I'll be running an event. Can't be barbecuing. You know.
Do you like me?
Or a rather shameful lack of commitment, says Joe.
Is that me again?
I think so, yeah.
I mean,
Max Malice says, God, I'm terrified.
I can't choose these things.
Max is terrified of the snip, he says. Sam says, I'm singing a theme here. Transitioning, asks Ian Whitehouse.
It wasn't quite that life-changing.
Did you get some Jaffa cakes too? That's fit the theme, says Joe. And then Scott Lehman says, Jesus, not the snip. Ryan Cuthbert, had mine in September. The wife got me a banana ice pack to help. Double says, didn't think I'd be watching Damien munching on his own nuts before 9 p.m. He's jumping again. What is going on tonight? The crowds are livid, says Sam. Moulton, I see you were treated well, Ryan. I was given freezer items in a towel. OP says, Lemur crazy. OP. Don't know. Josh Crosby says, I thought it was Damien that had good party poppers last time.
As what?
Cursed Poppers, says Lemur. Made in bread, says Sam. Did the party poppers go for an elective procedure too? Asked Joe Holzman. Firing blanks. Rory Campbell, I guess you are shooting blanks now. Squeeze the tip, says Entmoot Videos. How about Rich Thomas says, how about yank them harder and fast like a tablecloth magic trick? Has anybody made a firing blanks joke? That's Max. A couple of us, Max, says Joe.
I like that he's not made one. He's just asked the chat because he's being polite. So I'm not going to do it if someone's already done it.
The God of Poppers has deemed the cause unworthy, says Teenage Dirtbag. Is there a deep dive for the King of the Dead tonight? I have lots of questions about him, Master Richard Plummer.
There's not a deep dive for the King of the Dead. I've got a profile review. The deep dive will come on our Army of the Dead special, because it's perfect for a deep dive. I haven't done one in a while, and it's exactly what we want for a deep dive, where it's a relatively short section. So there will be one, but because on the Army of the Dead special we won't have a magazine to read, I figured it would be better there.
Yeah.
So
About Crazy says he's impressed. He's impressed by that, and I can never pronounce this, but I'm going to have a go. He's impressed by the Nahilac oxide wig.
Sorry, who's impressed?
Lemur Crazy.
He's impressed by the wig?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I didn't paint it myself. It is a bit Nahilac oxide, isn't it?
How do you say it? Did I say it right?
I don't know, mate.
Nahilac. Charlesman says, I don't remember a dry brushing stage in Steve's guide. I remember hideous quick edge highlight the entire model stage.
The last thing we did, quick edge highlight around the whole thing.
Scott Lewin says, I'd imagine if I hadn't got a son and had to get the snip, I'd be like Denethor, my line has ended. James Firth Hayden, who invited Lady Gaga to host in place of Damien? Anyone here watching Shogun? Asks Frederick. No, but I want to. It's I've heard good things about it.
What's anything got to do with Lady Gaga?
Have you been watching Shogun?
No.
No?
I don't have much time for the television.
I'll tell you what did look cool, what I've seen a trailer for today, the new Alien movie.
Oh, yeah.
I love Alien movies. Even the crap ones.
That's a weird sentence.
Yeah.
You like the sandbox, do you?
Mm-hmm. Rich Clemmer says, I watched the first 2 episodes, but the missus fell asleep, so got to wait for her to rewatch or blow on without her. Plow. Yeah, it sucks when that happens. We did that the other night. We went to watch the Bob Marley biopic, and she fell asleep in the cinema. Mate. Rude. To be honest,
you know what I say, man?
I was really looking forward to watching it, and it wasn't. I didn't think it wasn't as good. I think I bigged it up too much in my own head. I was expecting more than it was. I thought it was a bit disjointed.
Did it upset you? Her falling asleep?
The way they tried to tell the story, I think they missed out a load of bits they should have had in, and don't know if anyone else has watched it and what they thought.
Did it upset? Okay. Did it upset you though? Her falling asleep?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should have gone. You should have gone on your own.
Go on.
You know why?
Go on.
No woman, no cry. Hey, hey, hey. Welcome. King of the Dead knows jokes.
He does know jokes.
He knows jokes, mate.
He also knows Bob Marley's back catalogue as well, which is weird.
I think he knows one. Don't push him. Don't push his knowledge.
Sam Hoodie says, I watched the first episode trying to get time to do the rest. I'd rather eat it than smoke it, says Joe. Eat it than smoke it. Oh, it's on page Steve. We'll put the chocolate out of the wedding. Yeah.
There you go. That's what I said.
Rich Thomas says, life doesn't get in the way for old man Greg.
Oh, Greg.
Oh, mate, this is giving me a headache. I'll keep scrolling because it just keeps jumping.
Should have paid something.
Terrible typo, cat's face, old Greg quotes, says Mason Kingsbury. Oh, terrible typo.
Terrible typo. Oh.
I think he put cat's face in inverted commas, hoping it was going to do a cat's face emoji, but
it's the CT, isn't it?
Second inverted comma isn't an inverted comma.
You know his comment about the CT?
Yeah.
It must be that.
Josh Crosby, that's a wig. Shock.
What?
Rich Comment says, so I should save my lore questions for the special episode then. Theory crafting brain ready to explode. Yeah, Josh Crosby was shocked that that's a wig. He didn't realise. Thought it was the actual hair. Remco's in. He says, hey guys, just came to say hello. We'll catch up tomorrow. Hope you're good, friend. My mate worked on Bob Marley, says Rich Clemmer. He didn't think it was going to be very good even when they were making it. Oh, that's cool. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just think it felt a bit rushed. It felt like they missed loads of stuff that should have been in that wasn't, and yeah, it kind of jumped about a little bit.
Did that upset you?
What?
That it jumped about a bit.
Go on.
Maybe if you hadn't gone with Anna, it wouldn't have felt like it was jumping about a bit, and you wouldn't have been as upset.
Mm-hmm. I'm not biting them.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying,
man. Where is it up to? Who did I say was that comment that had a mate? Oh, Rich Clemmer. Very deadpan, says Sam Huddy. Rasta King of the Dead, says Lemur Crazy. Double says, just realised Damien is very on theme being old Greg with his downstairs mix-up.
I don't know. Is he? I haven't seen him. He couldn't make it tonight, so. I just saw what you meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've seen my downstairs mix-up.
I'm not in the middle. What's going on here on my camera tonight?
I hadn't even thought about the downstairs mix-up. I'm on Greg. You know what that is? Oh, wonderful.
You know,
classic Double.
You know, Joe Achilles sat there. Not a clue what's going on.
I think we can try that, Joe. Old Greg is a character from a British TV surreal comedy called The Mighty Boosh.
Which, I mean, that and that in itself, The Mighty Boosh, you have to have a certain sort of sense of humour to appreciate it, I think.
Some people simply will not find it funny.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, think the closest...
Other people will find it's the most hilarious thing they've ever seen.
The closest thing you've probably ever come to on it will be like Monty Python. But then it's several degrees.
Oh, it's Monty Python on acid, mate.
Yeah.
Isn't it? It's crazy.
But yeah, you can search, if you search... if you search YouTube for Old Greg, you'll see, and then you might find that some mean people suggest that my outfit that I wear in my day-to-day job as King of the Dead looks a bit like Old Greg.
Mm.
I don't think it does. I've never seen the similarity myself.
No. There we go. Joe Kelly, the mighty Bush. That sounds dirty also. Boosh, says Joe Colsman.
Boosh.
What do you guys watch over there? Lemur Crazy says, disappointed by you painting Citadel card.
I haven't got any ghosts. Paintable.
Postage says, it's not the 70s, Joe. That's a Bush joke. And that's me caught up on the chat, mate.
Whoa! Good work, my friend.
Yeah, boy.
So, it's only been 2 weeks since the last stream, Steve. How have you been?
Yeah. Oh, busy, mate. Busy. Busy. All right. Can't complain. You know, just busy. How are you?
Word on the street is you've been busy.
Yeah. Really busy.
How's the job?
Good. Enjoying it. It's a weird thing. So that's I'm sort of getting to, what's the word? Finding my feet in the new job, but the catering side has sort of taken a bit of a leap as well. Anyone that doesn't know, I'm sort of in the process of fumbling my way through starting up an events catering business at the same time. I don't know why it's happened, but lots of people, well, say lots, about 5 people have been in touch in the last 2 weeks.
That's about how many subscribers we got in the last 2 years.
Yeah. So I've just been like rushed off my feet, just trying to make it look more professional than it actually is, and write menus up and sample menus and things like that. So it's just been dead busy. Yeah. What about you?
Yeah, all right. So it's been 2 weeks. What's 2 weeks? I've done
apart from your marbles.
But do you know what? That was on a Saturday, and then my dear wife was just like, fair enough. She was like, have Sunday off. So on the Sunday, I was literally just in bed all day watching the tennis, and I think I was doing magazine stuff for next issue of SBG, like on my laptop. It wasn't quite on my lap, but that was actually quite a pleasant, for me to just basically sit in bed all day at a weekend. I can't remember the last time that happened. So would recommend. And then just work as normal, really. Nothing big. 7 Stones went on sale and immediately sold out.
Good.
Which is always nice, and we've got a big reserve list already, which is always kind of good. But we've chatted about trying to expand it, but we just can't see where we fit the extra tables in the space, really. And even if we did, because we do the like groups and the draws, we currently have 32 teams, and it works really, really well. And if we add four more teams, you've then got their groups of their 8 groups of 4 teams, and then they go into 4 tournaments of 8 in quarterfinals. So it all works so well. And as soon as you add 4 or 8 more teams, that whole thing collapses. And it's like, so even we'd love to add more, because it's just the room would cost the same. It's just more money. But it's that kind of thing. It's like it never seems worth it. And we talk about it every year and trying to do it, because there's always demand for it. But I just can't see a way of scaling it up, sadly. Without going to a completely different room or a completely different location or stuff, which then I think gets rid of a lot of the charm.
It's kind of I don't know what's the word. It would feel like a different tournament, wouldn't it, if you moved it, I think.
Yeah, I honestly think if we maybe not. I believe in. I chat to Tom a fair bit about this. I think if we just added 4 more teams, so 8 people, or 8 more teams, so 16 people in that room, I think the tournament would be worse. Do you know what I mean? I don't think that the benefits you get from having more people are not outweighed by the fact that the room gets hotter and all that sort of stuff, So that's kind of where we are on it. And they've actually got rid of. I don't think you've ever been there to the current space, but regulars, and I know there's some 7 Stoners in the chat all know that in the corner of the room there's like a big cupboard which uses up a bit of space, and that's actually gone. It's been refurbed this year, so we do have a bit more space. But it's not space for 4 more tables, So that was really, really good and really encouraging. But obviously we've got some disappointed people, and it was just insane. Like 3 p.m, like our email inbox went off, and the Facebook page went off, and me and Tom's like DM inbox went off, and like everyone's messaging us at 3 p.m. It's like, right, okay, what the hell do we do about this? And
so demand.
But yeah, it's cool. It's a good problem to have, particularly when they put the Warhammer World doubles on the same weekend, obviously. So we were a bit nervous about that, but it's really cool because lots of our regulars have obviously stuck by us, which is really cool and really appreciated. So anyone out there who chose us, it's very much appreciated. Obviously, that's the other thing. I don't think Warhammer World doubles had sold out at it. So if anyone has missed out, you can go to that one instead. Which I would like to go to. Because I love it.
I've been sold off the boil of late with events. Life's just been mad busy. Loads going on.
You must have.
The kids are off now. Are you still in work this week?
Yeah, until Thursday, and then I've got this week and next week. Whereas Emma's got next week and the week after that. Emma and the kids. And then next week. That kind of stuff, which has been all right. It's been good to get that up and running and stuff. Now we're the wheels are turning on that. Doing a lot of work with Mr. Tom Harrison on our magazine, getting issue 15. We're hoping to launch that at 7 Stone.
Very cool.
Which will be cool. And I've done a bit of hobby, I was painting some plastic Gondor Rangers, like last time, and I finished those off. And then I have cleaned up loads of stuff. I cleaned up the Citadel Guard for one thing, and I did the metal Faramir's Rangers that I got on the made to order when they came out. So I got 4 of them for a BSIME project. Some Dead Marsh Spectres for issue 15 of SBG, solid painting guide. And I also cleaned up, and I think I was messaging you about this one. I cleaned up a trebuchet. And do you know what? I'm gonna get it.
Go and get it, mate. Go and get it.
You gotta get it.
After the effort, I think it deserves to be shown.
This is it, mate. So this is going to be a BSIME project. This is going to be, in the next couple of months. It'll be on the stream as part of my Gondor army. So here it is. So this is it's the Finecast one. And it's done. I mean, this. Have you done one of these?
Not in Finecast.
You did it in metal.
It was horrible in metal.
Was it horrible in metal?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what would be better, and everyone always like craps all over Finecast, and they're like, oh, it's Finecast, it's awful. But do you know what? As much as this was hideously warped when I got it out of the box, the fact it was Finecast allowed me to just heat it up and bend it and force it into position, which I imagine you can't do with a metal one, right?
Metal's horrible. You got to try and bend really thick metal. Things like and it's always just off by a little bit, and it just won't go. It was a pain.
Also, I don't know if it's just me. I'll tell you what the real pain was. Can you see? You've got the winch bit here that's going across.
Yeah.
And you've got the top beam here that goes in between two. And then this bit joins the stone, right?
Yeah.
You have to glue them together at the same time. So you have to unless I'm being a complete idiot, because they're both, there's 2 kind of cross beams like this, one there and one down here, that are pinched by the 2 sides.
Yeah.
So you have to glue those in, like kind of hold it like this, hoping both are in place, whilst also hoping that this is exactly the right height for this. It was an absolute pig.
It's not the most fun model to build.
No, definitely. I mean I'm pretty pleased with it now. It's got some weird bits, like can you see? I couldn't get. You see the middle bars floating?
Yeah.
Where's my thing? You see just this one here?
Yeah. You can see the little like the little nub.
Yeah, you can see the nub. I was like, I can't stretch it down.
Yeah.
I didn't know what to do about that. Look, these ones here. God, these massive fingers.
I think Finecast resin, it's quite. I remember that it shrinks, doesn't it?
Maybe,
That's why, like the Finecast Legolas, like his face looks so gaunt because it shrinks.
Yeah. So like the bits on the end. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong side. Oh, that's why I was using the wrong hand. So these 2 here, they're flush, right? You see that? There's nothing I can do. I can't push them anywhere. But the one in the middle is up. What are you going to do about that? And then the ones around this side are flush. Just the one in the middle shorter.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to green stuff that or something. And even then, what you end up with is look at this. Can you see? I didn't do this intentionally, but can you see that this is curved? It's a bit like a ski slope.
Yeah.
So
kind of adds a bit of character to it, or a bit of realism. You know what I mean? Like old beams. You know what I mean?
Realism with the big curved beams and the floating beams, just like they had.
The floating beam with a nub on the end.
So I'm pretty happy with it now, and ultimately it looks great like that. When I pick it up, I'm going to point it at people and go, oh, that's weird, and I'll do a bit of green stuff in it. But it wasn't fun.
No.
But this was my Secret Santa this year. I got this for, and it's exactly what I wanted. It was the centerpiece of my BSIME Gondor army, and I don't know who my Secret Santa was this year, so could be a BSIMer, but if you're out there watching, thank you. It was a hellish experience to put together.
Someone who bought 2 trebuchets last year built one and wanted to get rid of the second.
Maybe, yeah. I'm not. Isn't Harry's in? Isn't he? I think Mr. Parkhill's been in, hasn't he? So I heard videos come up.
Yeah,
he's done 3.
Has he?
Yeah, he's done Triple Shay in the past for sure.
I tell you what's just popped into my head.
King of the Dead.
Weirdly, well, not weirdly at all, really, but what we haven't mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
The teaser to Horse's Head.
Oh yeah, news, goss. You're absolutely right. Do you not want me to talk about my trebuchet anymore?
No.
Let us know in the chat your trebuchet experiences. I want to know. Yeah, go on. That's good. Tell us about the Horse's Head.
Yeah, what are your thoughts? To me, I think
we need a bit of context, Steve. People might not know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so we got a teaser, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago on Warhammer community article, which said something along the lines of Middle Earth fans, fear not.
What was the article about? It must have been.
I can't remember now.
That was just a teaser.
It was one of those things where it was a circle.
Was it the FAQ?
Photograph.
Was it on the FAQ article? No, I'll tell you what it was. It was the Grand Tournament report.
Yes.
That's what it was.
And it was like a circle, and it just shown it was that a horse's head with the front like bit of armor over the snout, and it had little stars on it. I think it could be a Mount of Gilgalad.
Oh, that'd be good.
That's what I think.
I mean, I think it'd be popular.
And the only I don't know anything. I've not heard any rumors that it was. The only reason I think that is because of all the stuff about, just before Rings of Power was announced and everything, and there was heavy rumours that we were going to get that supplement that had
lots of I won't call them rumours, but lots of chatter about a Last Alliance.
Yeah,
wasn't there?
Yeah. And obviously then it just never came to be. So I think it's Gilgalad, and we had Elrond and the Banner Bearer not so long ago.
And Glorfindel.
Glorfindel, yeah.
Obviously, as we're discussing this, guys, put in the chat whatever you think it might be. It'd be good to have a little.
Because I think if it was what all the chat, all the like the sort of whispers were that things were made and a certain supplement was about to drop and then it got canned because of Rings of Power, then that would mean that they would have had the things made, possibly even had the models made. It would explain a lot about the big gap that we've had. Things would have had to be repackaged, etc., etc. That's my thoughts. But then at the same time, a sort of Arnor release wouldn't surprise me.
That's what you thought it was. Don't you remember the trust of you'll have to trust us? Remember what you said? You were saying that based on that it was going to be Arnor, but you don't think it's an Arnor horse. You think it's a Gilgalad horse.
I just think that Gilgalad I've been thinking it for ages. Put it this way: it's in my eyes, if it's not Arnor and it's not Gilgalad, I'd be more surprised it's not one of them two things.
Right.
If that makes sense.
But either of those are pretty cool, right?
Yeah, very cool. Well, anything's cool, isn't it? Have you got
a model, a new model, whatever it is, a Prime Harris Lieutenant for
new Gandalf
for SBG will be very, very cool.
What about you?
I don't know. I mean, it's got stars on it, isn't it? So I think there's a lot of chat about Gilgalad's banner having stars on it. I think, and
a lot of things have stars on it, though. You're going to go down that. You're going to go down that route. It could be Mounted Ranger of the North.
And someone suggested Mounted LSR, right? I think.
Yeah, I don't think it's LSR. I think if they're going to do LSR, it would have the patterned armored nose, whatever you want to call it, from the movies, but sort of the one that's on the existing metal model. I think it would be the same as that.
LStar.
Yeah, I don't think.
You like me? Oh, can I? Oh, God, I just realised I didn't know what the time is, but Sean's in, isn't he? Sean Clark's in, right?
Yeah.
We can pause this because absolutely this is very exciting. You've come up with some exciting tidbits, but I just want to say it's a very important day today, Steve.
Oh, yes. Do
you know what day it is?
I do know what day it is.
What day is it?
It's the day that Sean Clark's wife-to-be, on her birthday...
It is Catherine's birthday.
As a present that very few get on this planet. And even more so, very few get by right? the dead.
Yeah. I mean, what a day. I mean, we couldn't not, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Catherine, on behalf of everyone at BSIME, happy birthday. I hope she's watching. And this is for you.
Prepare to be uncomfortable.
There we go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Dear Catherine. Happy birthday to you.
That is the stuff.
It's not finished. It's finished. Happy birthday, Catherine.
There's a silent clap here.
Yeah.
She will never recover from that.
That's what a lot of ladies say, Steve.
Scarred for life.
That's how I used to. That used to be.
Just like you.
That used to be my picket line. Picket line? I wasn't on strike. My pickup line. That used to be my pickup line. And do you know what? Do you know what, Steve? I'm gonna do it, man. I'm gonna do it. Catherine, happy birthday. This one's for you. Oh, fucking hell! That's 7, mate. I should take them back, shouldn't I?
How many was in the packet? How many was in the packet?
30.
Oh, there's a lot in there.
30, I think.
Yeah, there's a lot in there.
I should take those back, shouldn't I?
Can you do it? Do it slow.
I'm going to have to take the evidence. I go, look, I haven't just had a big party and I want my money back. Do it slow.
Yeah.
Steve, I've done it.
Hold the neck.
What?
Hold the neck.
What do you think I'm holding?
I don't know what you're holding.
Pull the neck out. Well, I'll try holding the barrel, shall I?
No, don't hold the bottle there.
Well, I've been holding the neck for the last 7. Right, what do you want me to hold the neck?
Yeah.
The same then?
Yeah.
And what do you want me to do? Slowly?
Don't wrap it around your finger, just pull it.
Happy birthday, Catherine!
All you needed was my advice.
A crown fit for a king. Right, hang on. So what was the difference? They're all going off now. Mate, I'm doing the same. I know you've told me how to do it, but I'm literally doing the same.
The problem is now, you can't take them back.
Can't take them back. Oh, at least I got my crown.
They'll be like, yeah, these are used, mate.
These are used. These 7 aren't. Wonderful, wonderful.
So yeah, let us know.
Horse's head then, horse's head.
What you think the teaser was.
And I think we find out in a month, right? Didn't it say? I think I get the impression they're doing a monthly article now. It said something like you'll have to wait till next month to find out.
Was it next month? Was it next month?
I think so.
When was it? When did we get the teaser? Was it the day out? It was after the last stream, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely after the last stream. Otherwise, we would have covered it in our incisive journalistic way.
2 weeks ago.
It was probably on Thursday, wasn't it? I don't know.
Good though. It's cool. Cool. Joe Gilly's asking, is it a cartoon stroke animated show like Scooby-Doo? Hell no. Not animated.
No, old Greg is
I always
very,
get
very
Mighty
real.
Boosh and Flying Concords mixed up, says Rich Clemmer. And then Joe Kelly says, that reminds me, watch last stream on Catch Up. Big news for you, Steve. Congrats.
Yeah.
I think it's all because of that jar of meat rub I sent you. That's exactly it. It was just because of that.
That's a great sentence.
Great stuff. Very happy for you. Cheers, buddy. I'll send you my recipe for pork belly burnt ends. It's like eating meat candy. Yeah, dude.
Joe, good to see you, my friend. Aowen. Still pride of place on my little painting desk.
And then people are now confused, Sam Huddy being one of them, about Joe Achilles sending me a jar of meat rub.
It's exactly what you think it is.
Yeah. And then Sam Huddy said, to be fair, $7 speaks for itself. That will ever struggle for attendees.
Oh,
very nice, very nice. That trebuchet was a fun Facebook story to follow, says Frederick. And then Mr. Michael Haskell has arrived.
Woo-woo!
Even though I brought the gold home for BSIME.
Oh, yeah,
the final
boy.
of my club annual real tennis handicap knockout tournament. Handicap was favourite for me. Tight match, which I won 10-8 in games. Congratulations,
Congratulations,
man.
sir.
Congrats, Mike. Says 75 minutes. Knackered, he says. Not surprised, mate. Not surprised. Entmoot says, I absolutely love triple trebuchet. I have 3 metal ones and they were awful, but it wasn't anything like the resins. A local showed me his and it was basically a helix twist of resin. Bless you. My logic by triple trebuchet was they hit on 4s, so you hit at least twice over 2 turns, causing issues. Mm-hmm. How many points are they, the trebuchets in the game?
No idea, mate.
100-ish?
I think they're probably about 140, aren't they? No, it'll be less. No, it'll be less. 120 because what's the catapult? The catapult's 150 with a troll.
Yeah. Frederick says might be an Arno Cav hero. Dublé says it's Farmer Maggot on an armored horse. Endu says the horse's head Boromir, only member of the Fellowship, not to get a cool plastic version.
Have we got a plastic Frodo and Sam?
I've not got a mounted Boromir to hand as the old metal one. The old metal one's just a plain horse's head, is it?
I honestly don't know. We haven't got a plastic Frodo and Sam, have we?
Frodo and Sam, no. Rory says, what about the Rings of Power quote that they changed after a few hours?
Oh, yeah. Did you pick up on that?
So I didn't pick up on it. I read about it after.
It's very strange, for sure. So in the article, it said, saying, we're going to show you this, but we won't show you everything. And then it said, I think there is one or there are some secrets worth keeping. And that's a quote from Rings of Power. Which obviously... And I don't... But
or is it? That's the question, isn't it? Did someone write it like unknowingly that they wrote the exact same word in there? It's a quote.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is a quote. That's the thing. It is.
Seen the kerfuffle that it was causing, and then thought, oh, so just get rid of it.
I don't think it's from Tolkien. And then they removed it.
Yeah.
So it's weird, isn't it? Because like, if it was Rings of Power, so it's like a hint about that, then they never would have approved it, right? If they were going to remove, if it was a Rings of Power quote, then they knew it was a Rings of Power quote when they put it in.
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have then pulled it.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it's anything to do with
I actually think it might be more likely that it's just a coincidence.
Exactly.
And they've kind of gone, oh God, this has confused people. But again, let us know. It was really, I think that is really interesting. That is a kind of...
It is interesting because even if that is the case, it's still weird that they've deleted it.
Yeah.
Because they've never bothered about speculation before.
But I suppose they don't have like a social media channel to come out and go, guys, this isn't to do with Rings of Power, do they? So getting rid of it just avoids the confusion. Yeah. But in these days where we don't have too much to talk about, I actually do think that is quite interesting. That did make me think, oh, that's kind of cool. So is Rings Rings of Power back on the menu, boys?
I'd be surprised if it was.
Because do you know what? There is some Rings of Power is getting traction now, right? They put up some quotes, I think 2 days ago. Like, so the first time in, a year and a bloody half, or since the first season, they put up 3 Tolkien quotes. like about how the rings were made. And I saw something today from, I want to say possibly from Nerd of the Rings, that was Sauron's helmet, and it said something like summer, and there was like a
I've seen that.
It wasn't on the official one, but I think it might be real, saying it's expected to drop in the summer, which is earlier than people were expecting. But even if that's not true or just a rumor, there's still stuff starting to build up about season 2. So maybe there's something in that.
I don't know. Who knows? Frederick says to Harry, "Is that speculation or special investigative knowledge?" And Boot says to Rory, "I commented on it saying maybe it's a legal issue, and Rob A liked it. I wouldn't read into it." Mason Kingsbury says, "Yeah, Mighty Gilgalad is my pick too. The stars on the head of the horse look similar to the stars of the elf banner in the Elrond Master of Rivendell set."
Oh, there we go. Yeah, and that's Gilgalad's banner, isn't it?
Yeah. Madison says, "If they were still worth anything, I'd give my left up for an Arnor expansion." I think Arnor's not a bad.
I'd give what?
Lot to put your money on, but I think it's Gilgalad. Sam says,
what did you say
if it's the rumoured Arnor, my outside chance guess would be Aenor, the last king prior to Arnor.
What?
Yeah.
What I was asking about Matt's. What did he say? I'd give what?
You know when you face the other way, I can't hear you.
Oh, sorry. Matt's last comment. What was he saying?
Matt.
He said something like, I didn't hear what you said. Like, I'll give something or something.
Oh, shoot, mate. He's jumped on it. Oh, there it is. Matt. If they were still worth anything, I'd give my left but for an Arnor expansion.
If what were worth anything?
He's nuts, I think.
He's nuts?
I think so. Because you say that, I'd give my left nut.
I'm glad I've made you go back to that. Is he? Oh, hang on.
Go on, get in the care package.
Do you think he's in the?
I think he probably is. Yeah. And then someone says, if not King Elisar, I don't think it's King Elisar. Not. I just. You know that sort of the purist in me would be sad if it was King Elisar and the horse didn't have the same livery as the movie.
Yeah, they wouldn't do that though, would they? Let's be honest. For all the criticisms that people have been laying at them of like you could never say that their models aren't completely faithful to the stuff. You know, I think of everything anyone's suggesting, I'd most like it to be Aragorn. I'd like a new I've never painted the mounted Elisar.
The mounted Elisar model isn't great either. When you look at it, it's not the best.
He's crying out for a new one and like rearing up, right? Like when he does his speech.
Yeah, yeah. Embu says to Frederick, educated guess based on the stuff my source told me could be Arnor 2. I bet it's Gondor or Arnor, so Boromir, Elisar, Arnor, says Harry. Joe Holzman, did that conversation effectively just go, Steve, do you think it's more likely to be Gilgalad or Arnor? I'd be surprised if it's not. Don't know what you mean, Joe. Don't know what you mean. Josh Cole says, it's an instant buy if it's Gilgalad. I just hope one day we get new high elves to go with those new Rivendell heroes we've had so far. I could see something Arnor related being more likely.
Yeah, well, if it is Gilgalad, then the rumour mill will go into absolute frenzy about there's Last Alliance coming, won't there? You know.
Yeah. Or it could be, which is probably would be my train of thought, is that there was going to be a Last Alliance supplement and everything was ready to go. They've had to can it and they've got all the models there and they're just releasing them.
Yeah, maybe.
Stock doesn't necessarily mean we're going to get the Last Alliance supplement that
you don't need to release the Last Alliance supplement to release the models from it, do you? You couldn't like do an Anarian if they've done an Anarian because they haven't got a profile, but if they've done new High Elves or new Númenóreans or new Gilgalad, you could release that without the supplement.
Yeah, exactly. I think it could be mounted Elendil, says Scott, with a 7-point star on the front of the horse. Josh Crosby, I find it a lot creepier when Damien sings that song quite soothing when King of the Dead sings it.
It's creepier when I do it as me. Well, I'm sorry. It's creepier when Damien does it. Is it? Okay, well, brilliant. Well, I'm happy to be here. I'm delighted.
Sam Page says. Sam Page says. Sam Page knows something we don't.
Oh, Sam Page say.
This segment is probably why you don't have more subscribers. Oh, I think this was about you singing.
Oh, that's me.
I'd forgotten quite what a sensory nightmare that was, says Calamar. Sam Huddy says, I think that'd be the worst last thing to ever see ever. Catherine says, thank you for singing for me. What a birthday treat. Crying face, laughing face.
Was that Catherine?
Yeah.
Namaste.
Yes.
That is lovely. I'm so glad you were there. I'm so glad you saw it. You're welcome, Catherine.
She's not. She's not glad. Just send him a link to this stream as your proof of faulty products. Says Joe Holzman.
That's a great idea. I just send him the time code and go, watch your party poppers.
Imagine if you went, you'll have to skip ahead a bit, and it skipped ahead and it got to the birthday song. They'd be like, no, we're not.
It's all right. I bought this cape off him as well.
Get out of our shop.
If anything, it'd show I got good life out of his products, except for his party poppers.
James Firth Hayden says, I feel like I'm watching the crazy world of Arthur Brown.
You're welcome.
Don't know what that is. Joe Garman says, hi guys, not been in the stream for an age. Just tuned in to Damien's performance. Hello and happy birthday, Catherine.
You're welcome.
Osman says, does this mean you're now going to have to check if your snip's been effective?
Which bit? What? Which bit?
What?
What? What? I mean, I do, but I don't know which bit of that meant that.
Rory Campbell says, we'll pop some meat rub on those 7 poppers to get them going. It took a turn this stream, I tell you. Rich Campbell says, I think it's probably Gilgalad too, but why couldn't it be mounted at Elendil? I thought stars were important to Numenor as well.
I think the issue of Elendil is that it's not what his horse's head looks like in the film. Is that right? Oh, yeah. Sorry. I honestly thought you said Elisar. I'm crazy.
Yeah, well, Elisar, yeah. Elendil.
Yeah, it could be Elendil.
Could be.
There's a lot of Last, there's a lot of Last Alliance love, isn't there? Is it Elendil? Is it Gilgalad?
Calamar says, I wonder whether it was a non-Middle-earth person who wrote the article and just Googled Lord of the Rings quotes about secrets and didn't realise it was from Rings of Power. I think he probably just wrote it and it was just coincidental that it was worded the exact same way as a quote from Rings of Power.
I quite like that, actually, because it probably was written by a Warcom writer rather than a Middle-earth writer. He might be, and if you search for, I bet you, if you search for secrets and Lord of the Rings, like quotes, that would come up. That's really interesting.
Yeah, it could be.
That's a good idea.
Harry says, I think you bang on the money there, Callum, personally.
Yeah, I do as well. I think Callum might be onto something there.
Matt Hudson, lol. Josh
Callum,
Gold,
have you recently been fired from Games Workshop by any chance?
Josh Gold says, no hate for the show, but I really hope anything Last Alliance we get in the future would match the Peter Jackson's New Line films matching Elrond that we just got. I mean, that all will depend on whether a license was acquired for it or not. If they've got a license, for Rings of Power, I cannot see them from that point onward designing models to be of the older style that we all know and love. I think if they got the license, it would be for the Rings of Power stuff.
Yeah, well, it
would make more sense. Why would you acquire a license for a product and then make the products you're making that have nothing to do with that license?
Firstly, I think you're fine, but I don't think you have to want models from the films. I don't think you have to hate the show. So no worries there. I don't think so we're a happy safe space here. But you're allowed to not like Rings of Power. Do you know what I mean? But if they did it, if they have got it, then your Elendil's going to be from Rings of Power.
Yes, that's what I think.
And it doesn't mean that in the future they can't go back and do it because they wouldn't drop the other one, right? I think I've thought, we've probably talked about this years ago when we were talking about season 1, but I would imagine it would go something like, if they got Rings of Power, you'd get a like season 1 Rings of Power book, and then in the second half of the year you'd get like a Peter Jackson Middle Earth book, and then they'd almost alternate the licenses or something, because I think they would know based on the reaction to Rings of Power that if they just did Rings of Power for 4 years,
I don't think it would be that close. I think it would be a case of if they have got the license, I think anything of that age is going to be aesthetically from Rings of Power. And I agree that they might revisit the Peter Jackson version, but I think it would be way further down the line.
Yeah.
Not, I don't think it would be like within the same 12 months. I think it would be probably 18 months, 2 years down the line.
No, for sure. I mean,
like when do you remember like when the old source books come out and then they did the movies and then they delved further back?
Yeah.
Sort of on that sort of mindset.
I mean, I completely agree with that. Like, what I mean is, if they did say they've got it and they released an Elendil and a Gil-galad from Rings of Power, I don't think you'll get a Peter Jackson one for like 5 years. I don't. It'll be a long way in the future. Yeah. But what I mean is, they would go back to Peter Jackson's movie for something else.
Yes.
So because I just can't see them. I can see them getting the license for Rings of Power. I do think that would be cool and it'd be useful, and they'd have some awesome models in it, and it'd help expand the game. But they wouldn't just do Rings of Power for 4 years. They'd lose so many people. They'd have to do both licenses, and there'd probably be different licenses, right? So they'd probably have to do both licenses as part of their license agreement.
Yeah, Rings of Power could be War of the Rings style rules.
But I'd like to see it, man.
Could be a different game, don't it?
Could be a different game. You're absolutely right. It could be a different game.
A different game.
And it might have to be a different game.
Yeah.
I know we talked about this way back when we did our Unexpected Journey stream, but like when I so clearly remember in the November 2012, that like was when we got a single poster a month before it came out in White Dwarf that said the Hobbit strategy battle game, and that was the moment when people kind of relaxed and was like, okay, it's called the same thing, it's probably the same game. And up to that whole year when people, GW would say nothing about the Hobbit whatsoever, but it was clear that they had the license. People were going, it could be like Warmaster, it might be a completely different scale, it might be square bases, it might be War of the Ring. Like there was literally no confirmation that it would be the same game. And I think that would be a bit different now because they are previewing things in a way that they didn't then. But
yeah,
if they have got it, you're absolutely right. It's not crazy to suggest it would be a completely different game. But
yeah, hopefully it's not.
Well, there's still no merchandise anyway.
Even if it is a completely different game, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It could be the best thing ever. Yeah, it might be better than what we play now.
Might make people happy. But I think like there's still no merchandise. There's nothing at all. So I don't think we're getting it because no one's getting it.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting it.
If that horse is Galadriel on horse riding down beach, people will riot.
Boris Herzog's in. He says, "Evening all, hope you're all well. Just managed to hop on and catch the guest King of the Dead. Quickly picking up my own King miniature. Good
nice to meet you, Boris."
James Payton says, "Woke up at 5:30 AM to be greeted by that unsettling performance."
He's talking about you.
Jolesman says, "The party poppers were shooting blanks, now they're not." Ah, right, that's what he meant.
Ah, I see. That's good. Yeah, runs back to the hospital. Can you just check?
James Firth says, "Arthur Brown was a 60s rock star. He sang the song of Fire and was an inspiration to Alice Cooper." Oh. Rich Thomas says, "There is some traction in that idea, Callum. I remember when they made the profile cards, that wasn't done by the MESBG team members, just general staff."
Really?
Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Josh Cole says, "Yeah, I think if they get the license, I'm going to have to learn how to green stuff long hair for my elves. Cannot have L's with buzz cuts in my armies. Laughing emoji. Sean Clark says, this chat has made me rethink this. I don't think we will get Rings of Power models. Having to consider redesigning models plus the hate the show got, would it be worth them taking on license?
I think if it was available, if they could have got it. Oh, is he still going? Sorry.
I'll just think reading his follow-on comment, which says the game is in a strong position. The game is in such a strong position. Would they do something like bringing in Rings of Power? I can't see now. As much as I want to see it, I don't think we will see it.
Yeah.
And Richard says, didn't Nerd of the Rings do a video on all the rights? And I think he said Amazon don't have a merchandise license at all.
Well, that makes sense. I think if, when season 1 came out, or in the build-up to it, when it was like Lord of the Rings TV series, and FGW been offered, I think they would have gone, yeah, let's do this. This will be perfect for SBG. Whereas now, like Sean's saying, I don't know. I think if they were offered it, they might not. Do you know what I mean? I honestly think they might go, do you know what?
I think you're right in that sense. They would be more likely to accept or, take the license on before they knew what the what's the word? How it was received.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree with that entirely. It was different with The Hobbit, because The Hobbit was like Peter Jackson, and it was, it was the same universe, and presumably the same marketing rights, as someone was going to get the game, and it makes sense to do it, I think. Whereas this is a completely different thing. They could just be like, do you know what, someone else can have that, even if it is available. Someone else can do that. We don't need another age.
I think it's also, just to be sort of devil's advocate as well. I agree. I agree. I'm on that side of the fence, but just to be devil's advocate as well, there's a little voice in my head saying that back in day, when Lord of the Rings was coming out, forget The Hobbit for a minute. When Lord of the Rings was coming out, when it was just after it had come out, the world was a very different place as far as the internet goes. Like, there's far more people on the internet now than there was then. There's far more sources and places for people to moan and kick off, and it wasn't as. There wasn't as much hate on the internet then as there is now.
Absolutely.
There's more people on it.
Completely.
So I think it's quite hard. I think, but there was hate there. So there were people saying,
Helm's
ruined it. Peter Jackson's he doesn't.
Helm's Deep.
He'd be turning in his grave. I think people forget. Like, if those films were released now, I would probably wouldn't be surprised if they got a similar, because you read the negatives more than the positives, because the people who are happy about Rings of Power, they don't go on the internet going, I love it. It's the people who dislike it. So you see more. It looks like there's more hate for it than there is love, and I don't think there is.
You would be more aware of the people who didn't like the Lord of the Rings films. I'm in the Tolkien Society. It's really interesting now, like on the forums and stuff. You see a much greater proportion of people who don't like Peter Jackson's films, and they're perfectly legitimate reasons. And they're not like angry and moaning, but they don't like him. Whereas if you go on like Facebook or the Great British Hobbit League, the vast majority of people like Peter Jackson's films. It's just an echo chamber.
Yes.
And you're right. If they came out now, you would certainly be more aware of the problems with the movies that would then make you think, oh God, maybe there are problems. Like it happens all the time. Like, I'm kind of Star Wars ambivalent. I remember going to see The Force Awakens and going, that was cool. God, that was kind of just like the first one. I bet if you're a Star Wars fan, that you must have loved that. And then I went on the internet and went, nope. Do you know what I mean? I was like, oh no, apparently I'm wrong, and the internet's furious about it. Do you know what I mean? And like, there just wasn't those places to go and hang out.
The people who are unhappy and what would be negative, the internet is the perfect place for them to let it all out. The people who loved it are not on the internet feeling like they have to tell the world, because they're talking to the friends and the people that they went to watch it with. They don't need to do that. There's nothing, when they're that, people who are that angry about things, they need to convince people that they're right, blah blah blah. So you read more of that than you do the
Do you know what, Steve? You're right, and I have been thinking about this for hundreds of years, right? So let me tell you what happened, right? Isildur is like, "Will you come and fight with me?" Right? And I was like, "Yeah, sure, whatever. You're the king, right?" And then he started like, "Right now, you need to come. You need to bring all your people, and you're all going to die, right? And we're going to go and fight Sauron." And we were like, "We're all right here." Actually, if we just stay here. So he curses us, right? Which is like, okay, cool, you're the king, do whatever you want. But at that point, we didn't have the internet to see what other people were thinking. So like everyone in Linden, right? And everyone in Gondor.
What you're saying is it took Peter Jackson in the internet age to show that actually.
I just think if we'd had the internet back then there probably would have been some groups going, have you seen what Isildur is saying? Are you into this? And other people would be like, no, I'm not into this. And we're like, me neither. Let's get together and agree to not do this. But we didn't have that, so everyone else was going, Isildur, is everyone else on board with this? And he was going, yeah, everyone's on board. What, Gondor's on board? Yeah. Arnord's on board? Yeah. What about the guys in the mountain? Oh yeah, everyone's coming. We're like, all right, cool. And then, centuries later go, oh no, it turns out not the case. So, it works both ways, I think. That I don't want to be perceived as negative, but it's a good way to see what else is happening, I think.
You needed iPhones then. That's what you needed.
I mean, Jesus Christ.
It's rude, mate. It's rude. Mountain says, eyes have gone. They're starting to go. Boris Herzog says, am I making it up, or did GW want to ditch the system a while ago, but New Line, whoever held them, to maintain their end of the license? If so, might be they don't fancy taking on more Middle Earth. I don't think that was the case. I don't think that sounds like maybe that was a rumor on a forum somewhere.
No one knows that. It might be true, but no one knows. The closest it ever got was around The Hobbit, when The Hobbit died off, and I think there was a thing. I think in one of the financial reports, the CEO said it's like a weight around their neck, and they might get rid of it. And then I believe largely Adam made the case for how profitable it was, and they were like, oh, all right, and so they brought it back.
Yeah. Rory Campbell says, lol, my pondering comment about Rings of Power quote has led us down a rabbit hole here. No, it's a good rabbit hole.
It's a good rabbit hole. Lord of the Rings content. Yeah. It's cool.
Rich Clemmer says, I think movies have become line music or fine wine now. They are much better on multiple watches and years after they are made than when they are first viewed. You see that with the Star Wars prequels. Yes, very true. Harry says, you bang on, Steve, except the issue wasn't the internet, it's social media which delivers the content, which is more likely to just get angry. Forums weren't like that.
Yeah, we had forums in the late 90s.
I kind of meant it's the same thing. So basically,
it's social media. It's
safe to say
it's the speed of being able to write stuff.
Social media, to a lot of people, is the internet. Like, that's all they use the internet for, pretty much, outside of like work purposes.
He's absolutely right there. The forums were very supportive of the Peter Jackson. There were forums there. He did like live Q&As about this is in 1999, about what was going to be in the films and that sort of stuff. So the forums were there, and that's where the feedback about Arwen being at Helm's Deep comes from. And they respond to feedback. It's online feedback, but it's nothing like this. It's nothing like
yeah, and I think a lot of that probably is because it is so big now. Like, I think back then it was easier to interact with the community or viewers because there wasn't as many as there are now. Like, I don't think you could physically do it now. Like, I think do you remember like when Rings of Power dropped, and was it Nerd of the Ring, or was it who was it that did that, the live watch along thing?
Well, lots of them did, I think.
But one of them did it, and it all crashed or something. Because there's so many people just tried to watch along with them or something like that. It's very different now. Everybody's on the internet, but back then everybody wasn't on the internet.
But the other thing is, it's like, you can see that I've used this like these slides in a lecture, and where you can see the difference that people couldn't do in the era of the forums is you couldn't just be a silent bigot. It would be if you put something hateful on I used to moderate the One Ring. If someone said something hateful on it, it just got deleted and you got warned, right? Whereas there's now.
But also, I don't think there was as many people being like that, because I think people, because the internet was so new, people still had that sort of moral standpoint where they had that filter. within themselves.
Yeah, mate.
It was because it was so new, but now because the internet, we're further down the line, and people are sort of aware that they think you can say and do what you want on the internet and get away with it, and there's no comeuppance for it.
I'll give you an example though. Last May, so like a year and a half ago, right? And it's not a year and a half ago, it's a year ago. Amazon announced their season 2 casting for the Rings of Power, right? And I've screen grabbed these, so you get it's a post that says welcome, and they put loads of them out. They put loads, like eight new cast members, and they all had their own post. Welcome X to the Rings of Power, right? There is a guy who you will know from the Avengers called Rory Kinnear, who's going to be in it, and it says welcome Rory Kinnear to the cast of the Rings of Power, right? And he gets roughly about 2,500 reactions to it. It's on Facebook. It's like likes and loves and all that sort of stuff, right? And of those 2,500, I won't break them all down, but he gets 2,000 likes and he gets 72 laughing reacts. So Rory Kinnear added to the Rings of Power in completely unspecified role. He's just going to be in it. 2,000 likes, right? The same day, exactly the same post, there is a post for an actress called Tanya Moody. I don't know who she is. She's going to join the Rings of Power in an unspecified role. She gets about 2,500 reactions, and 824 of them are laughing reactions. You'll know something about Tanya. She's a black woman.
Yeah.
So you literally you don't know what she is. It's not like they're saying she's playing Aragorn. She's playing a completely unspecified role. But you get 40% of people who are presumably also going onto the Rory Kinnear post and just clicking like to prove their point are now these evil, hate-filled bigots are just voting with the laugh react. And we see it on the GBHL all the time, like the laugh react being used as a weapon from cowards, basically. But
it's like their way. It's their way of being able to get a point across, but it's also got a way out.
I'm just laughing. You can't be angry at me. But can you imagine that there's 824 people who want to just go onto the post of the black actress and say this is ridiculous, and that didn't exist in the forums. In the One Ring, you didn't have that, and you probably had some evil forums on the internet for sure. But in that is just Amazon's Facebook page. That isn't a we hate Rings of Power club. That is just reacting to the publicity, and it's just absurd.
That's kind of what I was saying. In our, in mine and your generation, like we sort of come into the internet in its sort of beginning, and it's like I said before, I think people had their own filter, where they knew if something wasn't the right thing to say, they wouldn't say it. But now, and it used to be, for instance, and I'll use it. There might be 40k players on who are going to go no, but was it 40k for adults or something? Was the group on Facebook where like it was kind of no rules, no holds bars, anything goes. You can say what you want. You can be as obnoxious as you want, and it used to be confined to these groups that we all heard about and we knew were there. But that's where it was horrible. Whereas now, it's in everywhere you go. It's in the GBHL sometimes, and that's why we get such a bad rep trying to admin it, because we're trying to stop it. But it has leaked, and I think in 5-6 years' time, I can't see what can happen to stop it, but I think it'll be worse than it is now. You're just going to get these people who they have this shitty, excuse my language, sort of outlook on life and think they can put people down just because of how they look or how they sound or where they're from or, what political party they follow. And it's crap. But that's what the internet is. But the flip side to that is the internet's great for a lot of other stuff.
Yeah. Anyway, I was going to say, fuck am I. Should we do some fun stuff?
Yeah, can I go for a wee first?
You can go for a wee, yeah. I'll read a few comments, and then we'll have a look.
I was up to Joe Holzman just about to say that he's off. I'll go for a quick slash, won't be long.
Oh, yeah. Larry said, I know your face, old Greg. Dark have been my streams of late. That was very good. Sean Clark, racists and bigots with too much to say about nothing. When questioned, they just scream woke washer. Indeed, yeah. And Gary says, "It's a heartbreaking thing I find about social media world now. The hate is completely unfiltered and it is everywhere." I couldn't agree more. Let's try and bring back the love. Let's say no hate. No hate. You go away, you horrible, horrible thing. I'm going to be about love and happiness and joy. And that, do you know what? That is what Battle Stream's meant to be about. The whole point is meant to be about hanging out together and having fun. So let's stop giving those oxygen thieves the time and the internet minute, shall we? We're going to have a little look through some stuff. We've got 3 things to go through actually, so they're all kind of linked. Let's see what we start with really. But I do need Mr. Steve. But do you know what? I'm going to jump in. I'm going to start with this. I bought this. It's White Dwarf. We talked about this. We had a big discussion on the last stream about White Dwarf and is it worth it now and should you get it and all this. And so we're not going to repeat that. But I bought it. I said I was going to buy it because it's got Middle Earth content in it. And I bought it. And today I had a very enjoyable sort of hour with my daughter where we both sat down. We sat down on the sofa and we read together and it was great. And I was reading this and she was reading one of her books. And we just had a very, very pleasant hour together. So, firstly, on this, there is Middle Earth content in it. So we get at the back, I might have to deglove for this. At the back we get the end of all things. And what was really funny was last time I think people were going, I assume it's Lewis and Ash. And someone went, no, it's Dan and Jay. And it's all of them together, in fact. It's a 6-person battle report for the end of all things. And this is kind of the end of all things because they're celebrating 20 years of Return of the King. But also because Ash and Lewis have been on this kind of journey for the last 2 years. They've done some amazing stuff in White Dwarf. And this was their final episode. So it's the Quest of the Ring Bearer scenario, the end of all things, where you have the big battle at the Black Gate, and then you have the battle at Mount Doom. And they made some amazing scenery. So here's a picture of the Mount Doom board they made, which is pretty cool. And then here's a picture of the Black Gate. We talked about the Black Gate last time. It's on in the exhibition, which is on till March. It might still be in there. It looks amazing. And you get a so there you go. You got Dan and Jay playing as Frodo and Sam, Frodo and Sam against Gollum, and then you get Lewis and Ash who've been building all the stuff playing against Rob Alderman and the mysterious Adam, who I don't know, and I wonder, is this the new Middle Earth sculptor? Does anyone know who this Adam is? Because it's the full kind of Middle Earth team. I know Dan's in Old World now, but there's strong Lord of the Rings connections with a lot of these people. And it's 10 pages, and it's really cool, and it was an enjoyable read. I'm glad I bought this. This is we talked about doing this, right? It's £7. And of all the things, I think I was most disappointed that Lewis and Ash don't get any time to talk about the scenery. I'm pretty sure they did it for Osgiliath. They definitely did it for the first year. They had the whole thing about how they built Balin's tomb and all that. And so there's no hobby in it. It's a 10-page bat rep, and it's good and it's interesting, and they're playing with, they're not playing with studio models. They're playing with their models, and it's cool and all that. But I don't know. I felt like it for the 20th anniversary. Maybe it's a bit more, but maybe 10 pages for Lord of the Rings is pretty good. And then what else I did was I did read through it. I haven't read everything, and I'm going to basically tell you what I read. That there's obviously no new releases in it anymore, as we talked about. There's some letters. There are 4 pages of letters which I read and are kind of interesting. They're fun. They're kind of marketing-y stuff, but then you're not going to put hateful letters in, are you? Like it's how did you paint this? And I've always wanted to put a picture in White Dwarf and this kind of stuff. All friendly stuff. Then they get into this that I know they launched a few months ago. And by all means, anyone who reads White Dwarf, tell me this. I want to kind of change my mind thing. This is the most confusing article I've ever... This is the White Dwarf Bunker. Are you aware of what this is?
No.
It's like a hobby challenge that you do via the magazine. So it's like... There's like a scenario of the month that they'll put in here and a hobby challenge of the month. And if you do those, you get hobby points around the world. And you're kind of meant to do it in a club. So, but it's just a very confusing concept. So like challenges, painting challenge of the month, paint an elite unit. So you're like, there's your 12 painting challenges. It's kind of like hobby bingo, but you're meant to write in or something. And kind of keep track of it. And then they've got kind of staff members, how they're getting on. They then have some new scenarios, a 40k scenario, an Age of Sigmar scenario, and so on and so forth. And I just don't get it. I'd love to know if anyone's doing it who plays 40k or Age of Sigmar. I just don't get it as a concept, but I don't know. You then get some 40k tactics articles. So I'm kind of channeling Harry here. Well, last week Harry said I'm just not interested in the rules because I don't play the games. There's then a kind of painting article, and whilst it's for Tyranids, it's about developing colour schemes. And I read this, and it's like it's got 4 different, I think they're termagants or something, 4 different ones and how they changed and all this sort of stuff, which is fine. And then more. This is all what they call the bunker. Everything so far has been the bunker. So there's a tactics article, and that's part of the bunker. So I don't know. It's one of your challenges. Read this tactics article. Employ some of these tactics in your game. Game points. I don't know. And then you get a nice bit where like people send stuff in. So this is then people completing the hobby challenges. And these are hobbyists models, and they're painted in different colour schemes, and they're cool and inspirational, and that's quite cool. Then all of that so far has been the hobby thing, and then we get the rules for a new combat patrol. So rules for a new way of playing one. A new combat patrol for a new gang for combat patrol. Then rules for multiplayer combat patrol. Obviously didn't read any. Some fluff on Lieutenant Titus, who I think is the Space Marine who just got a Weta statue. Is that right?
Is he the one from the computer game, Titus?
Maybe. That would make sense of why he was the Weta one, because he's a bit of a poster child. But some fluff, 6 pages of fluff about him, so 8 pages. Oh, hello. If you've enjoyed reading about Lieutenant Titus, then you can continue his fight against the Tyranids in Warhammer 40,000 Space Marine 2, the third-person shooter video game from Focus Entertainment. Top knowledge, Steve. So some fluff about him. Then some more fluff. So I guess that's interesting if you like the worlds. Then we get the Blades of Cain, which is how to play with your Aspect Warriors in Kill Team. So rules. Lots of rules for that, which is handy if you've got. I think those models are in one of the boxes at the moment, so it's how to use those models in other games. That's the 40k stuff. Then we get Age of Sigmar. We get a Tale of 4 Warlords, which I haven't read yet, but I will read. That's about 4 humans collecting, which is kind of cool. And I noticed that one of said humans is the wonderful Chris Charles, events manager at Warhammer World, who looks after us on our weekends away. So I will read that. That looked pretty good. I just didn't have time. Then we get some fluff about monsters in Age of Sigmar, which looks pretty cool. I probably won't read it, but stuff about cockatrices, great moths. And then fighting colossal battles, so how to play big games in Age of Sigmar. A Cursed City quest, which is part 2. Then you get loads of cards for all the stuff that they've given you in this issue. And then some new rules for new warbands in Warcry. And then it's on to the Tale of 4 Gamers. And then a little preview of what they're planning for issue 500. This is 498. Which, whilst looking relatively uninspiring, did make me think I'll probably get 500. So that's it. So it took me about an hour to read the bits I wanted to read in it.
Yeah.
And I probably wouldn't read any. I will read the 4 Gamers, but it's about an hour's worth of content. And as much as I don't play those games, I miss the articles from people talking about the hobby, I guess. I wanted more the Tale of 4 war game stuff. Most of this, as Harry said, is rules and scenarios, which even if I'm 40k adjacent, I would read someone talking about collecting their 40k army or running a 40k event, but I'm not going to read a bunch of rules that I don't play.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm glad I got it, and the Lord of the Rings Battle Report was good, but it didn't convince me. And also, do you know what else? This could be an age thing. I'm not willing to rule this out. God, I'm so embarrassed by myself. Sometimes I think the text is too small. Right, there's no way I'll get this across without you holding it in your hand, but there's an A4 page, right? This stuff is fine. But then quite a lot is this. And again, I'm past a certain landmark, but I found myself like lifting the magazine towards my face.
Is White Dwarf? I'm assuming it is. I think I know the answer. Is available digitally as well.
Yeah, I presume so. It certainly used to be.
I wonder if that's maybe they're trying to cram stuff into the pages because people can zoom in. Most people will read it on a tablet.
You've got. See, there's the designer in me kicking off. You have to design it. You make two.
So
then.
I
design
agree.
for your physical media.
I agree, but
and there's a weird thing where they like. Let me give you an example. Without being, I don't think anyone will care if it's spoilerific, but yeah. So what they have is a kind of double battle report thing where this is kind of story, and then this is what happens. So up here, it says, where's AMR? That hasn't worked. Where's the bit about AMR? All right, where's the? There we go. So up here it says, Merry was brutally beaten by an orc captain and almost became the first casualty. That's part of this column. And then down here, a bit later, it says, nearby, Merry is attacked by an orc captain and Ash has to use both of Merry's fate points to keep him alive. So you like you get almost like an overview of what happened in the story, you know, the fluffy version, and then the rules down here, which is kind of a bit weird. But yeah, so I get it, support them. As we said last week, like you buying this won't have a damn bit of effect on Middle Earth. You know, it's not like we're going to suddenly go, oh, they wanted Middle Earth in it. Maybe write into them and say, well done for putting Middle Earth stuff in it. But it's not bad. And I reckon if you play 40k and you play Age of Sigmar, it's cool. But it for me, it isn't as good as it used to be. Having now objectively read one, because it does lack. It's great to see people in there again. They're only first names for whatever reason. They've got people back, but they won't give them surnames. Just like on Warcom, they're all just Chris and Andy. God forbid they have photos of them, but God forbid you should ever know their surname, whatever that is. But there's just nothing whatsoever in that makes me want to read the rest of those articles.
Yeah.
And I just wish there was more human element to it, I think. That's my White Dwarf review.
I'm going to jump back in the chat, and then we're going to start wrapping through stuff, mate, because we've got literally just over an hour left before I start wrapping up.
Do you want to catch up and then we'll have a look at a magazine?
Where were we? You read some comments, didn't you?
I got to Gary George. So the next one is Jill Munro. As a woman on the internet, there's a reason I don't interact with any online communities beyond this and two others. Yeah, there you go.
Laura Miller says, it's like this group I'm in where the admins are all really anti-Australians. Aaron says, I just did my usual and went into Morrison's and snapped pics of the battle report page. Don't shoot me. It just didn't feel like it was worth $6.99. Fair enough, dude. Fair enough. Joe Monroe says, I feel the same about War Games Illustrated a lot of the time. This month's issue was good because there was a fair bit of hobby stuff and it was more fun to read. Joe says to Larry, you mean they're anti-Podian, is it? Podian?
What's that?
Joe Holzman's comment.
Antipodian is about Australia. So
yeah, or anti-Antipodian.
I see. He's Antipodian means like about Australia, so he's playing on the double anti, I think.
Sam says, I've heard of that group, Larry.
I'm going to run for the Wii while you deal with
really strict on the meme moderation. I thought you were going to be Joe. Larry, you don't say anything all streaming and you just pop up and you just comment. Yeah, you get kicked out with no warning, even if you... Probably because of how much easier it is to find people online with a name. I think it is... I'm not as articulate as Damien, obviously, but I think the internet generally is a bit of a cesspool. There's a few corners of the internet which are nice, but because it is ungoverned mostly, to an extent, obviously, but it would be a much nicer place if it was policed. And yes, that would take away a lot of the freedom. But sometimes giving people all the freedom in the world isn't necessarily the best thing to do. because sometimes people suck. I'm always Joe, says Joe to Larry. That should have been going to bed. He just can't pull himself away, Larry. That's the thing. He just cannot pull himself away. Right, we are caught up there. So I think when Damien comes back, we're going to go through the mag. So if you've got your mag, get it out and have a read through. I have had a quick flick through, nothing major. Are they still there, mate?
I forgot how hard it was to go for a wee in this get-up. And by forget,
I mean 2 marbles fall down your trouser leg when you're on your way.
by forget, I mean forget since an hour ago when I went for my last wee, because I always wear this. Oh.
Yeah, I was just saying we'll jump into the magazine.
Lovely.
I've not read it. Have you read this front to back?
I have. That's what I do.
Yep. I had a quick flick through.
First things first. What's he saying, Steve, this week?
He's giving that look as if someone has just moved 6.5 inches with a human warrior.
I think he looks pretty confident. I think he's pretty happy about his going.
Oh yeah, or he's thinking there's a catapult on here and he's not seeing it.
It's that kind of thing where he's gone, all right, my priority, any right moves? And the opponent's gone, no. And he's gone,
are you sure?
Really?
Are you sure?
Sure. Cool. All right, cool. No, if you don't want to, cool. That's fine.
And then you see the fear rush into your opponent's eyes and you sure? And they're looking at the board going,
He's got all his teammates behind him as well. There's a bit of cheating going on, I think.
There's the, funnily enough.
Oh, jumping ahead. Whoa. Good point. We go in. Oathbreakers. Since the time of the Second Age, the warriors of the dead have dwelt beneath the White Mountains. Having broken their sacred oath to Isildur, they're doomed to pay for their treachery for all eternity. And I want to read this because it is quite interesting as a little bit of fluff. When Elendil and Isildur united with the elves to defeat Sauron at the end of the Second Age, they called upon their countrymen to fulfil their oaths of fealty and join with them. While most answered the call of their king, there were those who refused, those traitorous and cowardly men, and those are not my words. I want to be clear, that's not how I feel about this situation at all. Were cursed by Isildur for their betrayal and doomed to walk the paths of the dead forever, never knowing the peace of the grave. For thousands of years, ththese damned souls lurked beneath the Dwimblebald peak, killing those foolish enough to travel the road below the mountain and casting a shadow of fear across the dim old wood that stood at its base. It was not until the closing years of the Third Age that Aragorn, Isildur's heir and rightful king of Gondor, offered them their salvation, calling upon these long-dead warriors to fulfil their ancient oath and granting them their final rest. It's kind of cool fluff. Some really nice. I really like the imagery in this one. Like, there's something about, I think because they're ethereal, the way the pictures kind of blur into the background and stuff is really nice.
You know, I just noticed as well, like looking at this first page, how the sculptor just winged it on the King of the Dead. Like his armour. He's just made it up.
Oh, what you mean? It's just like holes in it rather than looking like.
Yeah, it's just gone. Yeah.
Do you know something else I noticed in this? It's from the painting guide, but I'll mention it here because it's a close-up. There's a rope around his neck. Did you know this?
I can see that. I thought that was from his cloak.
Yeah, well, I always did. And bear in mind, I've dry brushed mine and stuck them on the table. I've never looked at it, but in the painting guide, it mentions the rope, and you can see it here. And it's like the suggestion, of course, is that he's been hung. But you then have him down here, and I don't think he's got a rope around his neck.
Yeah.
A little tidbit, maybe. Don't know.
Maybe it was one of those things where that was discussed early on when they sculpted the model, and then they took it out because it was a bit gruesome.
And then over the page we've got some fluff about the Return of the King. And do you know what? I really like these pages. I think this is good content. It's like fluff. It's still relevant now, and they almost always have cool photography. And this is very much a bit of me. I like this. So we get this awesome picture. Is that showing up? Where the ghosts are translucent,
Yeah.
We've got some Photoshop work going on here. We've got some layers. Well, there's some like semi-translucent ghosts being put over the top. That's
Someone's
quite
had a play with the opacity level on that.
Absolutely. And then, a completely different setup for the boats, and they're kind of trying to recreate the Denethor looking over with, slightly less orcs and all that. And then over here, it's just the major events of the Return of the King. So the Path of the Dead, Gondor in Peril, Pirates of Umbar, Battle of the Pelennor Fields, and the Blackgate Opens. I think this is really good. I really enjoyed this. It's good stuff. And yeah, do you want to talk about the horse head? Give it a stop a go.
Yeah, that was what I was saying. That's not the horse.
So you think that this is not the horse we've been shown in that circle?
This is not the horse you've been looking for.
But it's cool. I like that. So we then get onto the Army of the Dead. It's only 2 pages because the Army of the Dead is very small. We don't get any riders at this point. And their rules are they cause terror, Blades of the Dead wound against courage instead of defense, and the King of the Dead has Drained Soul, which is heroes. It's any enemy suffering a wound from the King of the Dead is automatically slain. So exactly what you remember it being.
Yeah.
And there's little...
Does it annoy you at all, or is it just my weird OCD that the model of the King of the Dead here isn't the model from the start or the painting guard? Because his cloak's not red.
It's what, sorry? It's not the model.
It's a different
paint job. So in the profile, they're using a studio model, aren't they?
It irritates me.
Well, fair enough. It's not something that bothered me, to be honest, but I get that. And in terms of the profiles, Warrior of the Dead, Fight 3, Strength 3, Defense 7, 1 attack, 1 wound, Courage 8, so they can never fail a courage test.
No.
And the King of the Dead, Fight 4, Strength 4, Defense 8, 1 attack, 2 wounds, Courage 8, can never fail a courage test, no might, 6 will, and 3 fate. So significantly worse than he is now. And we'll kind of follow up on that in a minute. But he's still got the Blades of the Dead rule. So no riders and no banner. And this is obviously to allow you to make the King of the Dead and the 10 metal Warriors of the Dead that came out for Return of the King. But cool. And, it's a rule that we've got used to now, but introduces something different to the game. And then you get the Siege of Minas Tirith. It's the second part of the battle report. And I mentioned the battle report going over 3 issues last time. And since last time, I've read it. I've read the whole battle report. So I read the intro, I read the bit in this, and I read the bit in the next issue. And it's a great battle report. It's in total, it's 24 pages long. So it's a chunky battle report. Really, really, really good. Lots of fun stuff in it. Swings back and forwards. Very, very thematic. And I just wish it was in 1 issue. It feels like they do it for the specials. The Return of the King, the Fellowship of the Ring, Two Towers, all just have one massive battle report. And I just wish they did maybe more of that. This issue is basically going to be a battle report. But if you want to, I'm not going to spoil what happens, but if you want to sit down with a cup of tea and get some really good Battle Games of Middle-earth content, then read the battle report across these 3 issues. And, they got fun stuff. Like, this isn't particularly spoilery, but they put like impact things on the gate as they're banging into it and stuff. And
visually, it looks ace.
I like this. I like the catapults firing at the trebuchet. It's cool. So yeah, well worth a read. Really good, really interesting. Enjoyed it a lot. Have you got card in yours?
Yep.
So we get, is it just Warriors? We must get a King. Oh no, we don't get a King of the Dead because we got the model. What do we get? 10? 8. Oh, it's double, isn't it? So 16. 16 Warriors of the Dead for you to use in your games. It's kind of cool. And then we get the rest of the things. And then we're on to the painting guide. And I genuinely, I think this is a good painting guide. I was really interested by this. I think people might have used it to see how they go about doing it. And it's paint it green, leaving black in the recesses, and then highlight it up, adding white to it before you kind of end up with pure white. So you get highlights like this. But then glazing. The way they describe that is, you give it a glaze of dark green ink. Remember, a glaze is much thinner than a wash because there's little pigment. You give the model several coats, so several thin coats. Well worth persevering. The resulting colour will be very subtle and a real testament to your painting skills. Once you have glazed the model, use pure skull white to reset the edging highlight. And I would just love to see, I kind of wanted to try it, just to actually try that out. But that's the kind of green. And I just think I'd paint it green. Do you know what I mean? I just and then those are the white highlights. and it's obviously very, very subtle. And then you paint the cloak red. So it's this kind of idea of like painting the top of the cloak red, and then painting the next layer down, adding in some, I think, some white into it to get the pink. And you can see the sort of transitions that you're painting in there. It's adding, sorry, the transition color is finding your original green and adding red to it. And then once you've done that, you then glaze over it with dark green. When the highlight has been applied, re-glaze the robe, including the red areas, with watered down dark green ink. Once that's dried, if you wish, apply a very fine edge highlight, quick edge highlight at the end, skull white, and that gets you to there. And then they start doing other things. So we've then got the armour, the metallic armour, the interlocking panels. They're quite fond of the armour, and it's like paint that all with dwarf bronze, and then add Catachan green and skull white to dwarf bronze, and use it to add a green hue to parts of the model. This looks best on areas where the bronze meets up with the ghostly green. Next, mix a highlight from skull white and dark green ink, and apply this as an edge highlight to all the lower edges of the armour, creating an uplighting effect. So it's really quite advanced. What they're suggesting you do, the idea of just painting the bottoms of the armour almost, so it's kind of glowing onto it. And then essentially do the sword, paint the sword metal, and then highlight it in kind of green and whites. And then somewhere the hair is done with bleach bone. And somewhere on there, and I didn't come across it again, they absolutely mentioned the rope around his neck. I can't see where it is on there, but I promise that's where I read about it. Somewhere in that guide, it says something about that. Oh, there we go. It's on step 1. Next, use skull white paint on its own to apply a very fine edging highlight to the sharpest folds of the cloak, the fingers, facial features, bottom edge of the breastplate, and the rope hanging around the king's neck. And honestly, I think he looks fabulous.
It does.
That's a great paint job.
I've painted a couple of Kings of the Dead, the metal ones, in my time. Don't know why. But I definitely used this painting guide. Probably when this magazine came out that weekend, I probably got the model and painted it using it. I thought it was good. I'm trying to think why I painted the second. It was probably because his sword snapped.
I hear it happens. I think I've got 3 Dead Marsh Spectres on the to-do list, and I'm kind of thinking of maybe trying to use this a bit. Because I did want to try it, and I think it does a very, very good effect. So, points from me, well done. And then thank God, we're on to Pelennor details, whereas I believe last time we had 4 pages to make a field. And this is making all the fun stuff. So, I don't want to be dismissive. It's better, but you can now make a ridge.
It still feels like we've gone backwards a bit.
Yeah, I agree. I didn't think it was that incredible. Over the page,
I actually think we've covered that before. The difference is that we've put it on a polystyrene tile, incorporated it into a tile.
Alternative approaches, right?
Yeah.
But then the urban boards, this stuff's good. So how do you do cobbles? Using textured wallpaper, and we've been there. Citadel of the Fountain Court, Battle Report, wallpaper from home base. What a time to be alive! And then he's using just a big brush to poke holes in it for battle damage, which is quite good fun. And then making kind of raised levels, and the sides of the raised levels can be dressed with patterned plastic card. Most hobby stores stock a variety of pattern plastic. I read this. This is actually in that White Dwarf today. Someone's mentioned basically they said most hobby shops stock it's tiled plastic card, and I was like, I don't have the evidence around this, but I was like, I've never seen this stuff anywhere, like in any
mainly like railway model shops.
Yeah, maybe they do,
but not like
But it's quite nice. You can make this. Good way of getting brick. And then finally they have the dock. And this made my heart sore. Before gluing the 2 sheets of polystyrene together to make your modular base, cut the corner of the top sheet so it has a pier. Use this pear shape as a template and draw around it onto a textured ceiling tile. To create the water for the dock.
Lots of textured ceiling tile, love it.
Back to the dam, back to the watcher pool. Back to my modular river. The classic days of BSIME. Lovely to see. Look at it. Oh, look at that. What a textured ceiling tile. You love to see it. And then harbour details. That's quite cool. The little thing. I don't know what that's called. Mooring posts. There we go. Suitably shaped notice board pins can be used to represent the mooring posts, and wrapping string around them is a good way to represent rope. And that's quite cool. We talked about this sort of stuff. I think maybe on the landing boats. That's like. I think they look different. Do they look like you've pushed 6 pins into your board, or can we believe that they're mooring posts? I think they're mooring posts.
They could be mooring posts. They could be chimneys on hobbit holes.
This is it. Yeah.
They could be a multitude of
things. Is it a chimney, or have you stuck a pin in your house? But yeah, so it's good. That was all right. I like the fluff. I really like the painting guide. The battle report's good, but it's only a bit of the battle report, and the Army of the Dead rules are kind of cool. I think it's a good one. I enjoyed reading it, but
it's better than the last one.
Yeah, it's not going to be challenging the top, right?
No.
And so we got the King of the Dead profile, and so what I thought we'd do as our last thing before we jump into Facebook is have a look at the history of his profile and see how our dear sweet guy changed. So he jumps into the game in the Return of the King edition, surprisingly enough. And I predict it's probably the version we've just read. So the King of the Day, 75 points, no might, 6 will, 3 fate, fight 4, strength 4, defense 8, 1 attack, 2 wounds, courage 8, causes terror, has Blades of the Dead, and has Drain Soul. So there he is. Okay, very, very rubbish. Well, not rubbish, but in our day, and we'll see how far our day lasts. But the 1 attack, the fight 4, the no might made him a bit of a problem. But 75 points. Next time we see him is in the Big Blue Rulebook.
Yep.
At which point he's probably in Gondor, isn't he? I think. There's my ghost. Oh, he's not. I don't know where he is. Is he? The Dead have done Harrow a separate faction in
here? I did think it was Gondor.
Don't know where he is. Should use bookmarks. I see. I wanted to find out what his profile was like live. I didn't want to plan. Dwarf holds. I don't know where he is. There's a trebuchet. 110 points in those days. Since we asked. Where the hell's the King of the Dead? Profiles. Must be profiles. Woodland Realms, Rohan, Isengard, Gondor, Menanum. That's weird. I honestly can't see him in this book. This comes after.
King of the Dead, not in the index.
There isn't an index.
That's useful.
Oh, so anyone out there fancies helping me out?
Which one are you looking in? The big blue one?
The big blue one. Where's the King of the Dead? Strong content for all the viewers. Men can't find thing in book. Unreleased Rohan Captain is the Rohan Captain profile. That is weird. I don't think they're in here.
It's a bit odd.
Why would they not be in here? How exceptionally strange. Anyone know anything about this? Why were the King of the Dead and the Army of the Dead not in the Big Blue Rulebook? Or are they, and we're just being idiots? Are you having the same trouble?
Yep.
How out incredibly.
Why the flipping heck have they not got all the good profiles together either, and all the evil profiles?
No, it's all split up thematically, isn't it? This is really weird. I don't know the answer to that. I've been through it several times now. I don't think they're in here. They must have been like forgotten about or something. FAQ'd back in.
Sure, that would have been a conversation at the time, though.
Yeah, but this is. I mean, this book coming out sort of predates us, doesn't it? Predates the forums.
Such a great book, though. Yeah. Lovely book.
It's a lovely book. It's missing a bunch of stuff. That's weird. Don't know about that. So then we get Gondor in Flames. I'm really intrigued by it because that replaced the Return of the King book. So, what the hell did you do with your Army of the Dead? They're not in it, are they? How cool! Do you know what they are in? Gondor in Flames, which came out in 2007. So this is like I think that blue rulebook's 2005 or something. As far as I know, everything that was meant to bring together everything from those first 3 books. I'm going looking for that. I'm going looking for kind of FAQs and stuff, and seeing what happened with that. I'm intrigued by that one. But in Gondor of Flames, they certainly do appear. Dead and Unharrow. The King of the Dead is now 100 points. So he's 25 points up. What's happened to him? Quite easy to find in this book. So he's now 125 points more. Still fight 4. Still strength 4. Still defense 8. 1 attack 2 wins. Courage 7. He's worse. He's 25 points more and he's worse. They've lowered his courage to 7. And only the Army of the Dead may use the King's Standfast. So he's worse twice. So obviously I reckon they found out that drained soul profile was pretty good and needed a bit of a cost bump. He next comes up in the glorious era of the Kingdoms of Men, where I think, again, he's a fiefdom, isn't he? King of the Dead, he's 100 points again. Fight 4, strength 4, defense 8, 1 attack, 2 wounds, courage 7, 0, 6, 3, 100 points, and has the same rules as was the way back then. I think a lot of these things when these books came out, there was a few changes, but a lot of people just got exactly the same profile from the Blue Road book.
Yeah.
He hasn't got the walk on water thing at that point. He got no ability to move through scenery of any kind at that point. But yeah, so the same profile then. So basically, from when he's introduced in Return of the King in 2003, he's got the same profile up to 2018. He's just gone up 25 points, and he was widely considered. I don't know if your memory of this is, but he was a bit rubbish. Is that fair?
It's shocking. Yeah.
Army of the Dead were. I remember Kieran taking him and doing really well. I have a funny feeling, I might be conflating 2 events, but I have a funny feeling that he beat my Ferals at an event with that King of the Dead. Like a competitive event that I'd gone to try and win, and his Army of the Dead beat me, and I was like, this is horrific. And he also, I think Kieran also beat Ed at Stirling with his Fell Beasts in that era. So Kieran was known as a bit of a demon with the old Army of the Dead, but he always used to use him for
Trailblazer.
You what?
Trailblazer.
Yeah, absolutely. And then of course they arrived for the new edition in the starter box, and they got a really new lease of life because he's still 100 points. He goes up to fight 5. That's amazing. He goes up to 2 attacks. That's amazing. And he gets a might point. That's amazing. He also gets Spectral Walk now, as do the other guys, which is they can move over water features as they're throwing around. And perhaps most importantly, they get the army bonus, which is the king gets -1. He gets Harbinger of Evil in the army bonus. And suddenly they became pretty good. And I remember, I don't mind, I'm wearing this get up when I took him to Throne of Skulls, and I wrote the series of articles for Warcom, and it was literally about, can you paint a 1,000-point army in whatever it was, 2 months or something. And I was like, I reckon I could do Army of the Dead. And I remember there were lots of discussions at the time that in those first 3 months, have more Army of the Dead been painted in the last 3 months than ever in the history of the game? Because everyone had them in their starter set.
The answer is yes.
Yeah, well,
yes.
quite possibly. I know it sounds mad, but it's like suddenly everyone was getting them. and I painted them up, and then I took them, and it was before Gondor at War, so there was no what's it called? What's the Legion called? Return of the King. I had Aragorn as a ranger, allied in, leading the Army of the Dead, and I was like, oh, Army of the Dead, that'll be fun, and I won 5 out of 5 games, and I was like, and this was, that was December when the edition like dropped in October, and I remember going, oh, they're really good. I was like, does everyone know this? Like, because everyone, I don't think, there's certainly before Return of the King, no one was really talking about it. I was like, they've actually had a huge buff. They're absolutely awesome. And then, had my wonderful weekend at Throne of Skulls.
I remember that period quite well. I remember everybody jumping on them. I remember one of the scourings, and there was loads of Army of the Dead armies. Well, especially when the Legion came out.
Yeah, and I was doing it pre-Legion, so you still had to pay for Andrew, and you didn't have Legolas, because you couldn't have Legolas in the list at that point. And it was that sort of thing that I remember, like, I'm so glad I did it. I did this, I did the costume, I did the display board, I did the articles, and I did it then, because if I'd have done it a year later, everyone would go, oh yeah, there's power, oh yeah, I'm just going to go to Throne of Skulls with the Army of the Dead. And I was like, this is cool. And I remember Tom basically ripped off my army at the same year. We always used to laugh about it. He had like 4 rangers instead of some of the dead guys or something. He had Aragorn, like 4 of the Dunedain or whatever. And we were both meeting after every game going, they're really good, aren't they? Like, yeah, and I think he won. I think he won 5 as well. He won 4 or 5 as well. I was like, but no one knew. It's like, it's kind of, yeah, that old Harbinger of Evil's really easy. I remember the biggest turnaround I had was at Hold Ground. It was 1,000 points. I played 150 Goblin Town Goblins. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I can't win this. And because Aragorn's got free march, I marched the army to the middle, got there first, put the King of the Dead in the middle, and made a green circle. And then he had courage 1 goblins, so he got priority. Half of them charged, and the half that charged died. I got priority. I charged some of them, and they all died. I was like, well, I beat 150 Goblin Town army. But the whole crowd was like, these guys are all right, So yeah, I enjoyed that a lot. I think they're fun. I'm glad that they had 15 years of being a bit rubbish, but I'm glad that they've had their moments. And now I think people kind of think.
I think that's when I painted my army. I painted that army just at the start of its popularity, because everyone was saying how good they were, and I thought, yeah, that'd be cool, army. And then it was like, then everyone hated playing against Army of the Dead.
Yeah. But not at Throne.
Not yet. I don't think I've ever played a game with my Army of the Dead. I painted it, and then I just thought,
because I remember that one. I got 4 favourite game votes, and I'm quite certain it was the Goblin Town guy that I didn't get it off. I probably didn't enjoy that, but I don't think you get 4 favourite game votes with Army of the Dead anymore. Whereas everyone who's turned up going, oh, Army of the Dead, that's cool. At that era in the game, they go, we never see Army of the Dead, and I was like, oh, I know, it's cool, isn't it? And I was like, oh, and then they were like, yeah, I enjoyed that, but 3 months later, I think they were like, oh, Army of the Dead again.
Yeah.
Yeah, lightning in the bottle was good fun.
It did become that. It become like, oh, you're bringing Army of the Dead. Oh, yeah.
But it's come round, isn't it? That I now think Return of the King isn't considered competitive. I think people have figured it out, whatever. They've figured out ways to beat it, whatever. And it's now not back up there. But definitely for that first year, I think it was the kind of good army of choice, wasn't it? In that first year in the edition. So cool. So there we go. There's issue 71 and a review of the King of the Dead's profile. I hope you've enjoyed that trip down memory lane. It's been a while since we did a profile review, so it's cool to jump into that.
Yeah. I'll dive back in the chat before we go in.
Lovely.
Facebook. We're up to speed. Joe Monroe says, I really don't want to get docs like people showing you how to dress on the internet nowadays. Yeah, sorry about that.
I think she's talking about you.
But yes, I'm going to bed, says Joe Holzman. I just left the stream on while I sorted my stuff out and couldn't resist the alliteration. Melton says, no one operating a professional stream would be that irresponsible, Jill, especially on multiple occasions.
I'm not sure we've ever done anything to make you think this is a professional stream. I don't know where that accusation has come from.
Larry says that comment was my reasoning for them not giving last names. What was that? Probably because of how much easier it is to find people online with a name. It'll be something to do with data, won't it? Someone's just moved their Mummock into his King of the Dead.
What?
Says Larry. Someone has just moved their Mummock into his King of the Dead.
Is that in a picture?
Oh, it'd be the cover.
Oh, sure.
Uh-huh. Did I miss the horse head talk? Asked Larry. Yes, you did. Sam says it was earlier, Larry, but throw it in now.
I like that Harry has enough faith in us to think we'd talk about the horse head.
That is interesting. I can't see it on any of the versions of King of the Dead. I wonder if it was an early art concept thing. Yeah.
Is this the rope?
Maybe the horse head was from the King of the Dead's horse that he definitely had. Oh, come on, stop doing that. Bruce Lawrence says, couldn't they fail a courage test if Ancient Evil was around then too?
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah.
Somebody says maybe Isildur hung his horse instead, giving an entirely different meaning to an old saying.
Rancid.
The font size compare, says Larry. He's already wearing a cloak. Not sure he needs several thin coats as well. Ashley Fisher's in. He says, evening all. It was busy tonight, but just popping in to say hi. Really impressive that you've got the King of the Dead himself as a guest. I assume Damien is getting a tea or going to the loo.
Yeah, well, Damien couldn't make it tonight, and Steve rang me up. He said, I don't suppose you're free. And I was like, yeah, I'm free. I'm always free to do battle streams. I've been waiting for 97 episodes for the call. And then I was like, what's the theme? And he was like, you're not going to believe this.
You, mate.
It's you, mate. I was like, yeah, of course. I'm there, man. I'm there. So, always happy to help out the BSIME boys.
Oh, yeah. Larry says, also, in answer to Steve's question, I was quiet at the start as I was somewhat thematically watching Ghostbusters. Oh,
is that new cool, Ghostbusters?
New one. I think Sam Hoddy might have it. He's put thieves. Are they with fiefdoms?
There's no thief section. There's no thief section in it. Which actually, where are they? Because this is getting weirder. Like, because they're in Battle of the Pelennor Fields. So Battle of the Pelennor Fields introduces all the Harad, or it introduces the Mummock. This is weird, mate, right? So the Battle of Pelennor Fields supplement introduces the Mummock. It introduces Dol Amroth, so like Imrahil and the Knights of Dol Amroth. And then Harad Chieftains, Harad Raiders, Suladan, right? They're all in that. This comes out, as I believe we talked about in the Return of the King releases, this comes out in 2004. That is categorically before this book. Absolutely before this book. And in this book...
Dol Amroth's in here.
Dol Amroth are in here, you're absolutely right. And so is Imrahil. I apologise. I take it all back.
Yeah, but they're just in with Gondor. But that's it. There's no.
And the Mummock's in it, and Suladan's in it. It's just the Army of the Dead.
Yeah, not in there, mate. You got my hopes up then, Sam.
This is so weird.
It's mad. I don't think there were thieves back then, says Larry. So long ago, I can't remember what was blended together, says Sam. Ryan Cuthbert says King of the Dead wasn't printed in there. Ended up being a downloaded add-on to it.
A download in 2005 from the Apple iTunes Music Store.
You have to use the dial-up. Haskell says, "Been a lovely company whilst I have a late dinner, but I'm bushwhacked and I'm going to turn in now."
Well, that's what winning tennis tournaments will do for you.
Yeah. Larry says, "I still don't think I've seen a pure Army of the Dead, just with the King and Heralds as heroes."
That's because it'd be rubbish. I'm going to have a... no more babies.
Cuthbert says, "I'll see if I can dig it out and put it in the chat."
Do what?
And Larry says, "The download."
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Put it on the put it on the whip thread.
Yeah, I didn't get around to using it until the Legion came out, says Larry.
I've got to say,
yeah, right,
I'm not saying she's tight because she's got me a great care package. These are Sainsbury's. Are they even underneath the label? They are called Jelly Babies. They're nowhere near as good as the proper ones. Nowhere near, mate.
I beat them in that period, says Sam, but I happen to have Bolg with a load of Good and Bad Berserkers and Spearmen.
Bolg!
Larry says, did he drink anything out of any footwear? No.
I drank this Bailey's, though.
And Larry just says, yes. He's not even wearing shoes, mate, says Sam. That's it.
How does Sam know I'm not wearing shoes? That's weird.
Because you're dead, mate.
Dead men need no shoes.
Right, okie dokie. Oh, you've got to do it, haven't you?
Mate, I am ready.
Let's go. Let's do it. Let's do it, mate. Let's do it.
Boom. If you could confirm to me that you can see it.
Joe holds it. Yeah. Joe holds my bird.
Do you know how I just said boom? This reminds me of Jamie Gibbons saying Bosch. I'm on the studio. Oh no, it is there. For some reason, it was like, when I was on the edit mode, you got the two. The Facebook thing was there on the left-hand one, ready to go onto the right-hand one. When I hit transition, there was just a gap. But I'm hoping.
Yeah, I can see it.
You can see it on YouTube, yeah?
Yeah, it looks sweet.
Looks sweet, mate. Looks mint. So that means the people can see it, right?
Yeah.
Wonderful. That's all we need. So I can then go to that. And then we can get stuck in. So, let's see what we got. This has gone up early. Not the first time you've heard that, Steve. Joe Holzman looks like he's in. So you were well on time today, were you? Adding some skulls to the base of my King of the Dead. I've already painted both the versions. Got last stream's Haradrim to work as well. Oh, God, Citadel skulls. That sends me... I did 478 of those for that Army of the Dead board. Glued them on individually. It was not fun. Sean Clark, this old broken model was dug out of a box, stuck some bits on it. Let's see if I can turn it into an objective model for my Mordor army. That's hashtag so BSIME. And he's got some replies. Matt Hudson has put a purple melting GIF up. Who needs face detail when you cover it in super glue and chuck it in an eBay job lot? And then here is a picture saying he did this thing for the dice.
Wait, what are you on?
Sean Clark's comments. He's got like he said it was an objective marker, and it's like a horribly melted version of the King of the Dead. Looks cool.
Well, I can't see that.
Sean Clark's got like 5 comments.
I can only see the purple cartoon thing, and then the comment about face detail.
It's underneath that. And he's also, he's then put finished man version, and he's put Grimbeorn up. Oh, he's put, I don't think it's a man version of the King of the Dead, because he's then got bear version as well. So he's got finished, he's done Grimbeorn as well. Looking awesome, my friend. But you're in with your King of the Dead. Next up, we have Jill Munro in need of the caffeine for this school night with a plastic King of the Dead. You love to see it. And a slightly spooky shot glass. That is a lot of coke.
All right, Al Pacino.
Mason Kingsbury. This guy's been in old Chinese takeaway containers for about 20 years. It was the King of the Dead from the magazine. Time to fulfill his oath and get painted. I love that so much. Whenever we stop doing these in a year or 5 years or 10 years or 20 years, I will... Of all the things I'll take away from this, the fact that we got people to dig into dig into boxes of like long forgotten models and paint up is just wonderful. Looking more like a Joker. Needs a green white dry brush, I think. Do it. So yeah, he's got a kind of green one with looks a bit like the magazine one, but with purple cloak instead of red. Purple cloak for the King of the Dead. I heartily recommend. I've never done any cloak colours on my King of the Dead. I've just done them the green. I'm lazy. Just in for speed. So well done, Mason. You are in. Daniel Coe, you're just about to go live exactly when Cult of Paint are doing their Golden Demon roundup. Wish I could. I didn't know we were dividing the audience. Thank you to everyone who watched us. Wish I could split myself in two and watch both. You cannot always be split in two. You must be whole. And for many years, Sam, go away and write my book. Sam. Sam Hardy says, no king for me, just 7 stones cav. Thought I'd try the new approach to horse photography. Or what is it, Steve? Look at that horse head teaser.
That's close. That's closer to LSR than the other one.
Could be anything. Gilgalad on horse, I reckon. Looking forward to seeing those at 7 stones. Sam. And Larry Miller suggests new plastic Gilgalad. Michael Curtis, Dead Regent, reporting for painting. Lovely. Michael Curtis is in.
Scott Newman, ready to go.
Like Republica. That is a lovely table he's got going.
Done. Well done, not an update.
Scott Newman. Has he finished, has he?
Yeah, it looks nice.
Scott Newman's on a bit of a winning streak, isn't he? With us.
Watch that sword though, mate.
The time of the time of I can, you can cook is over. The time of charred food has come. That is looking great, mate. Looking very good. Top points to Scott. Daniel Gunn, I've done that. Sorry. Frederick Schultz, got the right models for this stream. Bought almost 5 years ago. Plus a sneaky shade I got 2 years ago. Proper BSIMing tonight. Love to say. Oh, look at the chocolate.
Yeah.
That is a beige table.
White arrow, 2 white lion bars.
White Duplo. Lots of cream coloured paints. And very, very pale tea. On a cream and white background.
What?
That is a very pale colour. White Arrow. Do we know much of this?
I think it was a limited edition, yeah.
Just Coles. Unfortunately, not on theme tonight. Really need to pick up the new King of the Dead kit. Just working on the face and all the skin for my last Merkwood Ranger. There's 8 Palace Guards to be prepped and based. Looking very, very nice. I love the Merkwood Ranger models. I enjoyed doing mine. I've got 10 more unpainted for the 1 day pile. Next up, Jens Elmo's a different kind of dead royalty and some Easter snacks. What is that? Is that an Age of Sigmar model?
That?
Is that the Grail Pilgrim? Is it that?
Nice.
Is that the thing the Grail Pilgrims goes? Lovely to see the Easter snacks. Either way, not on theme. Ruth says getting these dudes done. These are, they look like spawning Uruk-hai, are they?
They do look like Oryx.
Spawning Berserkers. Not on stream though. Hawk Jacobson, not on theme tonight, but excited to put paint on a huge load of Generation Shift back. Wow, that's a. I'm not sure I'd be excited to be doing that. Right, it's a lot of bases. Are they the wooden walkways one with all the bones to pick out and stuff?
Yeah, that screams. A couple of thin black washes and a couple of dry brushes. You'll have them done in 10 minutes.
Michael Dublé, we're on the big screen.
Dublé.
Oh, look at that Black Battle Streams dice. He's paused at that moment. That's what he wants.
Was
So
it?
close he can almost touch it. Release your inhibitions, Dublé. Feel the sun on your skin. He's got an update, which is off to bed now, but all assembled and first wash done. Looking very good. He's been assembling the Heralds as well. Looking awesome, my friend. You are in. Tom Christian, been saving this guy for this stream. I love it.
Very cool.
New plastic in there. You know what we haven't seen? We haven't had a single translucent King of the Dead yet.
No.
Anyone managed to get them in the first wave? I thought we'd get at least one. Rory Campbell, this was lunchtime today. Look at that. A sprue of the Warriors. The Metal King of the Dead in Battle Games packaging. And the banner bearer. That is a bunch of errors because that's the banner bearer from when he came back on as part of the Middle Earth release, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the oldest packaging as well. Lovely, lovely stuff. He's got some responses, which are an update, and that's it for today. Let's have a look at those. Looking very nice. Very pale green ones. Look quite like mine there, I think. Similar colours to me. Sam Earnshaw, nailed down my colour scheme for Army of the Dead, so we'll start on the King while watching the footy and catch the stream later. Oh, it's looking great, mate. It's again very similar to the way I did mine with that kind of pale green. But yours look, I'm going to say yours look significantly better than mine. If that is dry brushed, and apologies if it's not. If it is dry brushed, you made it look far smoother than my powdery dry brushing. Richard Clammer finally cleared away all the Warg Riders from my desk. Got 2 Kings of the Dead to add an extra highlight to, and a Witch King to assemble. Got to do some blue stuff molds and green stuffs on my Ranger bases, and Wardrake conversions too. So super busy tonight. Lovely to see.
Nachos on the go.
Yeah, standard Clammer nachos. Boris Herzog. Have this guy I repaired and primed a few streams ago. Going to see if I can paint him tonight. Cream egg for scale and snack. Lovely stuff, Boris.
Looks like he's replaced the sword blade, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think you're right. Actually, good spot. Famously weak sword. 2 replies there. Had to finish up the evening, managed to get the whole model done, though he's a simple scheme, managed to even stick some tufts on the base. Let's have a look. It's looking great. It's got the colours in the back, that kind of like faint purple or faint red, adding a bit more to it. Looks brilliant, mate. Did you do colours on yours, Steve, when you did Army of the Dead, or are they all just green or blue or whatever?
No, I did. So on the Warriors, I did all the sort of ethereal greeny blues, but I picked out the armour.
Oh, yeah.
And some cloth, and then on the King of the Dead, similar. Obviously, did the red cloak, but I put the green LED up inside his rib cage as well.
Oh yeah! Oh God, I forgot about that. Yeah, it looks awesome.
Little battery in his base. Yeah.
Jake Pollard's in. He says going to do something with this guy and then dry brush some of the Dale gang for a model I will probably never use and gave no thought to in terms of colours. I'm happy with it. It looks awesome.
Yeah, it's a beautiful model as well. It's nice. Nice to paint.
I remember there was a lot of discussion that was he the. I can't remember what the criteria was. He won the award for like best uplift from the plastics. You know, like model that was so thought of as so bad and became so good. You know, that idea, like percentage increase in quality for the plastic was. He's got to be up there. That was Jake Pollard. We're on to Matt Hudson. I have a surprised looking king from a job lot I bought to get a Haradrim king. And he's being stripped. So he's got the now of added ectoplasm. This is the old one.
I was just looking at the next picture. I was thinking, what has he done?
Maybe he really likes the King of the Dead.
Maybe he's not at the snip.
Whoa. There's no impact, my friend. No impact. Gary George. Realised my painted King of the Dead already has skulls, so I'm going to have to go to the cheeky tuft route. Tuft added. That was exhausting. Do you know what, Gary? Do you know what you've done? You've got your King of the Dead out of the cupboard, and you've improved him, and you've joined in with the stream. As far as I'm concerned, that's fine. Adele Boscher. Oh, so this is Mark's Adele. So, I think you're going in, Adele. If you're the one posting, you're the one winning a dice. People's champion tonight, I think, for sure. Hi, guys. Mark asked me to share what he's been working on. Rescued from the bin a sprue hoof and some green stuff. Larry, the standard bearer, and his trusty horse Spoons were born. Hopefully finishing this off over the weekend.
It looks like a scene from season 1 of Game of Thrones, doesn't it?
Rescued from the
bin.
bin.
All the horse bits are in the
What's a sprue hoof? A sprue hoof and some green stuff.
Sprue hoof and some green
stuff. It's a hoof made out of sprue.
Oh.
So there must be update pictures for that, I reckon.
Yeah, there is a Bisa. Look at the banner. That's cool.
So what's that? Is there 2? What is has she just posted the painted one out of order, possibly? Oh, BSIME banner.
Oh, BSIME banner.
BSIME banner. That is lovely. Oh, but she's not in.
No.
It's just, I mean, it's glorious, but they don't get in. There's no ghosty boys. We love it. I'm sorry, Adele. I've got to take you out. But thank you.
I like it a lot.
James Payton has cracked open the new kit. Oh, we've got one! We've got one! James Payton, thank you. So what have you done there? Is that a dry brush of white over it? Tell us, Sensei. I mean, it looks cool, whatever you've done to it.
Does look cool.
Looks awesome. I want mine to arrive.
How annoying is it that when you click on a picture, you got to scroll all the way down?
Yeah, that sucks.
Why has Facebook done this to us?
Sometimes I wonder how much they were thinking about people who do live streams and capture these posts and want to talk through everything that's in them with their audience. Nathan Talbot, what is a whip thread? Always great to have you, Nathan. Todd Egbert, some long forgotten scenery tonight. That is cool. That's very... and Dunkin' Chocolates. Donut flavoured filled chocolate. White chocolate shell with layers of raspberry flavoured cream and jelly. I mean, I want them. They look fantastic. So good luck with the scenery, but not getting in the draw. Aaron Noonan seems to have assembled and undercoated his.
Very cool. Great models, aren't they? What do you call it? The
Heralds. Yeah, you just never use them.
No.
It goes King of the Dead and Aragorn because you have to. I can see a point for Legolas. And I can't see a point for putting Gimli in. Gimli doesn't add anything to this, and I certainly can't see a point for the Herald. Josh Crosby, made my own with a Twilight Ringwraith head. Only need some model tidying. We said, Steve, we would discuss it. What do we think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's using an Army of the Dead model, and he's hacked up a Twilight Ringwraith.
Yeah.
I think Josh gets in.
Yeah.
Beautiful work as ever.
Oh, we've got to send him 20 quid. So
that's what I mean. It's like, what do you mean you're not putting me in for the free dice? I've cut their head off the Twilight Ringwraith for the chance of a free dice. Stephen Ryan is in, painting King of the Dead and 20 Warriors. Ambitious. Stephen Ryan. Following Damien's method. Oh, thanks, babe. For my first time ever not following the Battle Games of Middle-earth. I hope it works out for you. So my method was spray them white, cover them in Nechrach oxide, cover them in Bieltan green, and then dry brush them with Ulthuan grey. And let's see so he's at the wash stage with the Bieltan green. Yeah, that's what it looked like. And then you dry brush them. And I nicked it from someone else. I can't remember who it was called, but someone else put a post up, which is what inspired my entire army and my entire project. So I'm forever indebted to that guy. And I did it, and I followed the exact scheme, which is fairly simple, and it didn't look anything like his. Which just goes to show the difference that the weight of your dry brushing can make, and the difference maybe that camera lighting can make as well.
You hold the brush right at the end.
Yep. Yeah, it's like 3 meters away from it. And Larry Miller, going to do something with this previously finished King of the Dead tonight. I'm looking for a cone, Larry. Larry was meant to be stealing us a cone this week. It looks like he's bottled it. I like that screenshot he's got on his, though, of like story time with King of the Dead. Larry is in. That was 52 comments as far as I can see. I'm going to refresh.
Okay.
It's Parker then, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, he wasn't there on mine. Let's go back to the GBHL. 50. We're up to 56 comments. All comments. And down to King of the Dead Town. Harry Parker touching up the king after I noticed some chips and bad scotch. I like that notice of chips. He just scratches away at his model to win a dice. Oh no, it's chipped. And neatened up the king's coat and basically finished 3 more metal models. That makes metal zombies. That makes 8 in total. When he's saying that makes 8 in total, that is because Harry Parkill is doing what I'm doing with Gondor, where he's painting an army of the dead army just on the stream. So this whole army, which is now, as I said, 8 guys or 7 guys and the King of the Dead, has all been done on the stream, which is lovely. So well done, Harry. You are in. And Ryan Cuthbert. Oh, here we go. No King of the Dead for me tonight, as he's already painted, but dug this out. And look, yeah, this is a download. So it doesn't have any explanation there of why it wasn't in there. But you can see, I think he's kind of glued that into his big blue rulebook. But yeah, it's the stats of the King of the Dead. And the army, they must have just been forgotten from the book.
Yeah.
What a wonderful tidbit.
Mental stuff.
That's a lovely little bit of learning for everyone on BSIME tonight, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's good to learn.
Yeah, it's mental. Check the emails, mate. Oh. I'm telling you to check the emails. I mean, I could check the emails, I suppose.
Joe, oh, we have an email. Not sure this is going to get me the draw. I placed a dry brush next to my King of the Dead mini epic. Long shot, I know. Tried to help my odds by also showing my sausage and peppers dinner and my shiny, new, freshly delivered Black BSIME dice. His Black BSIME dice has arrived. Oh, so yeah, he's got the Wetter miniature epic, King of the Dead. I should have put this up. Sorry, Joe. With sausage and pepper dinner. Looks nice. Looks like sliced up sausages that maybe have been barbecued. Looking very tasty. With his Black BSIME dice that has flown to the other side of the Atlantic. Lovely. I'm glad it got there. But alas, no draw for you. As ever, I will jump to the bottom of the chat. And I don't think anyone's been missed, which is good. So, on this fine Tuesday eve, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22 entries, Steve.
Very good, very good.
So we're going to be going for groups of 8, I suppose. Or 7, 7, and 8. So we'll do a 7 at the end, because they always get the bigger group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, that's absolutely right. So we've got 3. We've got an 8, a 7, and a 7. Sweet. So over to the bag of Michael Curtis dice to find a D8. Every time I do this on stream, I realise that there is a hole in this bag and think to myself, I must swap that before the next stream. And I never do, Stephen, I never do.
Never.
I have our D8. Nightmare to get through. Let's go to Zoom. Over to Dice Cam. And remember, everyone, tonight, in a magnificent twist, I think this is the first time we've ever done this. You are not just playing for a Black BSIME dice. You're also playing for the King of the Dead dice. Can you imagine if I get a double 6 here, Steve?
What?
Double 3! You've just won! An elf blade roll off. So yeah, you can win yourself a black Batteries Win Left dice. And you can win yourself a Damien Byrne customised King of the Dead dice tonight. How exciting for everyone.
Cool.
Alright, so our first group of Face ID doesn't work. First group of 8 people. We don't have a 0, so no issues here. Is Joe Holzman, Sean Clark, Jill Munro, Mason Kingsbury, Michael Curtis, Scott Newman, Frederick Schultz, and Michael Dublé. Are you ready, Steve?
Yeah, I'm ready to go for it.
It's a 3. It's Jill Munro.
Jill
Munro has
still been at the final before?
Don't know. Stormed into the final. Next up, we have a group of 7. Tom Christian, Rory Campbell, Sam Earnshaw, Richard Clammer, Boris Herzog, Jake Pollard, and Matt Hudson. So we will re-roll an 8.
Yeah. Go on.
Is it 4?
Oh, what?
It's Richard Clammer.
It's Clammer.
And a final group of 7. Gary George, James Payton, Aaron Noonan, Josh Crosby. Oh, Crosby. 4 dice Crosby. Stephen Ryan, Larry Miller, Harry Parkill. There's no covers tonight, is there?
No.
Holzman's missed his chance. And no Fisher either, I think. A chance for Crosby to stretch his lead for sure. There we go. So we've got 7 re-rolling 8s. Oh, re-rolling the tension. You love to see it.
Ooh.
It's a 2.
2.
It's James Payton.
James Payton.
So we have our 3 finalists. We have Jill Monroe, Richard Clammer, and James Payton. Well done. Well done. Well done to everyone else who played the game. And I think for today as a special treat, I'm going to use the King of the Dead dice. And I'm going to see if this gives James Payton an unfair advantage, where the King of the Dead is the 6, obviously. So can the King of the Dead roll to get James Payton through? So Jill Monroe is on a 1 or a 2, Richard Clammer is on a 3 or 4, and James Payton is on a 5 or a 6. As ever, it's the first of 3.
Well,
it's 5. James Payton. If Jill wins, do you think we'll be able to find out her address?
Someone in the chat will know it.
Everyone in the chat will know it. All right, so that is James Payton streaking ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, but Jill, she wants it. She has our address. We have her address. Everyone has her address. Send her something, surely. Richard Clammer yet to get off the mark. Surely a 3 or 4 here for Clammer gets him in contention. Oh no, it's Payton. Payton is on match point. I don't know. Was Payton still out there watching? I don't know. He's just sat up, hasn't he? It's so close. You know, when you're there and you're like, oh, I just need 1 more 5 or 6 and it's mine.
Yeah.
He wouldn't mind a 3 or a 4 here as well to get Clammer in. That wouldn't matter to him. But he's not going to want to see a 1 or a 2. That is not what he wanted to see.
It's Jill.
That is
Jill Payton
on 2 and James Payton on 2 and Clammer yet to get off the mark. Can Clammer come back, Steve?
I think no, not at this stage.
I think we're gonna have a winner in this role. I think Clammer's he's still on jet lag from Paris. He's full of nachos. He's not ready for the big game.
Well, I'm still not talking to him.
Oh, the King of the Dead has won it for Payton.
Finished on the actual
icon. You couldn't write it. Oh, Payton. James Payton, the King of the Dead, has won you this very dice. The King of the Dead symbol has won it, and it's won you the black dice. And these 2, and here comes a double 6 to finish things in extraordinary fashion. Oh well, hang on, 1 fell out, so the 2 of them did bounce together, so that can't count. Son of a bitch. They're really good dice, we promise. There you go.
Well done,
James Payton. Sorry, Richard. Let's go and see what that does for the dice standings. Battlestream picks and coats. So we are on Dream Prize winners. Here we go. So we are on episode 97. 100's getting closer. It was the 26th, wasn't it? Was that right? 26 today?
26. Yeah.
The winner was James Payton. We had 22 entries. Do you think the King of the Dead could have been a contender if it had been on a weekend?
No.
That's the spirit.
I think we had enough people in.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's like 48, wasn't it, at the beginning?
That's not enough.
No, but that's like average for a stream for us.
Yeah. And we did no deep dive, but we did do a profile review of King of the Dead. Amazing stuff. There we go. Congratulations to James. You love to see it.
I'll dive back in the chat, mate. When me and mouse will start working. Larry says the yes was an answer to your question, Steve. I can't remember what the question was, Laz. Jill says, is it normal? It is normal volume code, but squeezed score for some reason.
All right. That's weird.
Joe Kelly says, "Did you check the emails? Not sure if my entry is going to get me in the draw." We did. Still waiting on my clear Army of the Dead ordered on Boxing Day, says Boris. Still waiting on mine too, says Larry. There is a well-named...
Oh, my ones were ordered on...
well-named banner bearer. It's very cool.
I like how we both stopped. My translucent Army of the Dead were ordered on December the 2nd, and I'm still waiting. So that's a month before. So clearly they haven't done that.
Yeah, roll on August.
You know what's fun, actually? My mum, because I asked my mum today about it, because she ordered them. And she, bless her, because she's my mum, she then emailed Games Workshop and went, "Where are my Army of the Dead? My son needs them for his stream." And they said, "As this is a made-to-order product, we can't give you any update whatsoever. Keep your eye on Warhammer Community, you'll be the first to know." So, sometime between now and mid-August, guys.
Yeah. James Payton says, "Just a bit of Corax and Celestra Grey dry brush on the Translucent King. Might add some colour or wash later." Does look cool, mate.
Sorry, which one was that? Where's that?
The Translucent
James Payton.
King.
James Payton, didn't it do well for him? I didn't make the connection. The only guy to paint the Translucent Army of the Dead, and he's won.
The James Payton.
A bit of Corax and Celestra Grey. Is that one Celestra Grey? Is that one, like, did you mix the two and dry brush it once? Or is that two dry brushes?
Bit of Corax and Celestra Grey, yeah. Sounds like it. "I have a stupid list planned with Herald. I will use one day," said Larry.
It's not like you.
Josh Crosby says, "Only a matter of time until I took off the head of that Twilight Wraith." Larry says, "Maybe GW decided their oath had been fulfilled." Joe Achilles, so close. Gary George, missed by one, closest yet.
It's not any closer than missing by any other number.
Harry Parkill, he's glad he didn't get in, he said. "I feel a little guilty getting into the finals, just touching up the king."
Worked for Camilla.
Is that a 1 or a 6? Says Sam.
King of the Dead is 6, of course.
And Jill says, "Phew, my address is safe for another week."
I thought Jill had gone to bed.
Huh?
I thought Jill had gone to bed. Stuck around for the dice draw.
Everyone's just saying, "Congrats, James. I hate these symbol dice. Has anyone considered banning them?" With winky face. Steve, just quickly to highlight chat before you go. I PM'd you about Skyrim like you suggested last stream. I'm going to go through all my... When I get back tomorrow, hopefully about late afternoon, I've got loads of messages to get through. I've just not had time.
Where is Peyton, though? Look, he's there when we're on the Facebook thread telling us about his paint scheme.
He's just done both, mate. He's just like a column of one.
One, obviously. Yeah. Yawn.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
I just realised, actually, having said that I would update you on the dice standings, I did everything except updating you on the dice standings. Let's have a look. James Payton has not won a dice. Congratulations, James. Your first dice. I'm putting you in now. James Payton. He has won 1 dice. And it was on stream 97. You are now, my friend, one of
an elite group.
39 people in the world to have one black Battle Streams Middle Earth dice.
So that's it, people. Next issue, Damien?
Sam's post saying maybe he's out in the street doing a victory lap. Screaming the house down. Yes! Yes! Payton for the win! I genuinely love the idea that the only person to do the Translucent King of the Dead has won it. So yeah, fairy tale ending. The next issue, you say, Steve?
Oh yes.
We've got a decision to make, my friend.
Yeah.
In the next issue, I can't wait to get stuck into this guy, because look at this guy's face.
Yeah.
This will be a talking point for next. What is he thinking? That something terrible has happened on his table. He looks absolutely devastated.
He's just had a hero die to a warrior with 3 might in the bank.
He doesn't even look angry.
He looks fuming.
He's just horrified. But also, you notice the angle. Like he's looking to his mate on the next table, Like, you know, he's like, what has just happened? This is a nightmare.
What it looks like? What do you mean his dad taking him off?
That's the isn't that not the drummer? Is that the drummer headgear?
I thought that was a Warg Rider.
Oh, maybe. Could be right. So,
I could be wrong.
In the next gaming pack, Gondor and Rohan unite to hold the Pelennor Fields. We're going to get part 3 of the battle rep, just to warn you. We present the rules for using siege towers in your battle games. That's cool. Am I right? Do we have siege tower rules at the moment?
Don't think so.
Not sure we do. The battle report reaches its exciting conclusion. That's true. Learn to paint Minas Morgul orcs. And you can build an impressive orc siege tower for your games. And do you know what comes with issue? 12 plastic orcs. So we need a theme, Steve. Like we've done orcs before, and we've done like Mordor before. What are we going to go for? Any thoughts?
I think we could wangle a week where people get a chance to paint some of the new plastic orcs characters. You know the ones I mean?
No.
So you got Snaga.
He's absolutely not plastic.
You know what I mean?
Resin, Forge World.
Yeah, they're not plastic. These are all resin.
Okay.
Snaga.
Yeah.
You got the new.
You mean like Gorolf and
Gorolf, yeah.
Razgush, is it? It's not. Well, Razgush is one, but that's not one I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Gorolf and
I know the wizardy one. What's it called?
Musgur. It's Musgur and Razgush. What's the little 2-sword one called? He's the one with Gorolf. Can't remember. Having a mind fart. And we've got Gothmog's Enforcer.
Gothmog's Enforcer, yeah.
And Guritz. It sounds to me like
we're never going to touch. I say that actually. We probably would touch on them if we eventually got to them. Supplements.
I mean, that sounds like you're saying resin Forge World Orc Hero. We could also have Zagdush. Thank you, Sam. Zagdush. We could also have named Orc Hero. I quite like your Orc Hero idea.
Yeah.
Or just Orc Warrior. Go the other way. It's like any Orc Warrior. So you could have like Black Guard of Barad-dûr or something.
Yeah. Let's say a warrior that's got the orc keyword.
From either book? Hunter Orcs, all right?
Anyway.
Okay, so Orc Warrior, yeah?
Yeah.
That sounds good. I think Orc Warrior is pretty cool. Let me have a little look. We've got Captain's There's a plastic infantry warrior. That's different. That's the normal. Free for all. Oh, mother of God. Stream 53. Chaos. Minas Tirith warriors. Mordor orcs. Minas Tirith warriors. I don't think we've done it, my friend.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's crush it. I like that. So a warrior model with the orc keyword, yeah?
Yeah.
And it's like Orc Warrior Week. And I think that's really close to what this is. And crucially allows you to paint these.
Yeah.
I like that, yeah. Happy with that?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Let's do that. We have so that'll be hopefully in a couple of weeks. Larry says you missed me saying that my yes was an answer to your question about if it was the new one. You asked a question about Larry having a new King of the Dead, was it? Don't know. Epic videos, Night Chaps. Top stream again. Glad for the company encouragement to develop my BSIME army alongside some Uruk-hai Fiefdoms hero assembly. Great to have you, Harry. And Larry says, I guess you could say he was a clear winner. Huh? That's good. Posting Spirits, that was me when Tom Harrison's Dale Windlance bullseyed Microvane in his first shot. That's this guy. Yeah, I mean that mainly because you saw someone's wind lance hit something, I reckon. Frederick Schultz, it's the drummer, but he kind of looks like a wild rider. I thought it was the drummer. Jill Monroe says, very nice, Larry. See, Jill gets the joke. We don't get the joke. Frederick says, we do get Siege Tower rules. Siege rules are spread across the main rules and more in Rohan. Sam says, Zagdush. And Larry says, Guritz has got Guritz Week coming up. That's a good point with the conversion, yeah. Frederick wouldn't mind an Orc Hero or Orc Warrior stream, could do Wild Riders or something. Yeah. Joe says, does it include Moranas? Yes, they're Orc Warriors. And Frederick's confirmed that. Frederick says, I'll do Warg Riders, including dismounts. Oh, the Ghostbusters. He's saying, was it the new one? He's confirming it is the Ghostbusters. And he's glad he managed to get one of those in. Joe Kelly, so happy to catch a full stream tonight. I've missed the last couple live. I know you watched them catch up. Nothing like live BSIME magic. Well, it's great to have you, Joe. And remember, you must now go and do your research and search for the best of old Greg. Do you like me? Could you learn to love me? I like you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill you. Yeah, Sam I forgot about that. The Crabane only get hit on a natural 6 as well. Amazing. Dale OP. Tom Harrison OP. Classic Harrison. He's the worst. That's what he does. So there we go. Another fabulous stream with you, my friend Steve. And no, sorry, hang on. It's been great to be here for my first ever stream with you, Stephen Crow. And hopefully one day I'll be back. I'd like to come back maybe for when you do. You mentioned that you guys were going to do a Warriors of the Dead special when the translucent ones come. I reckon I could come back for that.
You think about that? I need someone who can pull party poppers first time every time.
Well, you reckon?
It's those ethereal hands that are just going through the string, and you know what I mean. You're going into the party popper and pulling the fuse out.
That could be it. I like that spectral party popper in honour of James Payton's victory.
Never doubt, mate.
It didn't actually come down. It's all like that.
So,
maybe it's just the top layer.
Thank you for joining us. It was a fun stream. I was very tired tonight. I don't know if it come up. I was very tired, but it was a lot of fun to do after a crazy week and a bit of a crappy day. So, thanks to everyone who tuned in. And fun as always.
Got a bit of good work done on my City Old Car as well, which is nice. New hobby vlog from Damien will be up probably tomorrow. Maybe something. And hopefully it won't get taken down by a strike from a Japanese band who...
Stop pirating things, mate.
It's unbelievable.
Stop
this sound. That's what it's been taken down for. You know, at the start, the logo, it's that. Between 20 and 30 seconds, go and watch any of my hobby vlogs and it goes... And that sound they've used in a song. Unbelievable.
It might all get banned.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, why just one? Larry thinks Ghostbusters is pretty fun. Hobbits in orc armour from Lima. No.
You don't have the orc keyword.
And they're not warriors.
Yeah. It's just wrong on all fronts.
Josh Griffin says, thanks, King of the Dead. Appreciate your time. Always happy to help out the B-Song guys. Good stream. Got some actually paper done. Yay, Damien hosting. So get sound on the pops. Does that say?
Hosting so we get sound on the pops. Yeah, Damon hosting. So
on the party poppers, because I'm hosting the stream. They can hear the party poppers. And you can hear me clapping, I think, but you can't hear Steve clapping. Yeah, I can't hear you clapping. Yeah. Amazing scenes. There we go.
So we'll announce when the next one is as soon as we are able, and we'll see you then. And hopefully Damon will be back.
Yeah, I mean. Yeah, I'm sure I'll be able to turn up.
Cheers, King of the Dead.
Always a pleasure. Just remind me, Steve. It's the first time I've hosted one of these streams. It's a mute, and then it's a transition to the hold screen, isn't it?
So, yeah, it doesn't matter which way around you do it, but you need to do them both fairly quickly next to each other.
All right, I think it'll work. See what happens.